Over 71,000 strong as the 49ers take on the Falcons with first place on the line in the NFC West, both coming in with records of 4-2. Hello again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton. It has been 9 years since the Atlanta Falcons were in first place, undisputed. They can get there with a win today. They have won 3 in a row. They're certainly a different team and a hot team from past years, bringing in my partner, Matt Millen. But today they're going up against the Niners, going up in class. What must they do to win the game?
Well, I think it's real simple. They can't self-destruct. They cannot have any turnovers. June Jones told us the other day that if we just don't turn the ball over, traditionally this game has been lost that way. So we hold it, no interceptions, no fumbles. We should be in pretty good shape.
Well, Matt, the 49ers are feeling very good about themselves after coming from behind to beat the Lions last week. What are their concerns against the Falcons today?
You know, it's funny because San Francisco offense is a real fast start kind of offense, but today they've got to be patient. This is a game of patience. Offensively, when they get all the blitzes, they got to get the ball into the hands of Jerry Rice and let his big play ability take over. And then defensively, they just got to not let the big play happen to them.
Jerry Rice is a big play player, as is Deion Sanders, who returns to Atlanta for the first time since signing with the 49ers. And, of course, he'll be looking at Mr. Rison today. And we'll return to the Georgia Dome for the opening kickoff right after these messages from your local Fox station. Falcons came from behind in the second half. They were down by 17 last year to beat the 49ers, and a big day for Andre Rison, who scored 2 touchdowns. 49ers have won the toss. Steve Young will get set to go to work early. Norm Johnson will kick off for the Falcons. And back deep for the 49ers is Dexter Carter. So a big early season game getting set. And it's going to be Carter returning for the 49ers from the 4-yard line. Dexter Carter with the return up to the 32, and that's where the Niners will go to work. A 29-yard return. Steve Young, who's been better protected the last week, starting out with 10 touchdown passes on the year. And for the first time, including preseason, the 49ers will start the same 5 offensive linemen. Weapons on offense. William Floyd, an impressive debut as a starter at fullback last week with Taylor, Rice, Jones, and Waters. First down on the 32. And a pass to John Taylor on the slant pattern, and a first down to midfield. Tackle made by Roger Harper and a gain of 18 on the first play. The Falcons defensively. Up front, Lester Archambault has been bothered with a calf injury. Mo Gardner, Pierce Holt, former 49er, playing today. Matthews, Tuggle, and Ron George, the linebackers, and secondary that has produced 15 interceptions to lead the NFL. Ricky Waters.
Boy, that was beautiful.
For a couple.
Yeah, that's what you like to see. Now, all week long, they saw the big rookie, William Floyd, coming up there and popping on people. So the Atlanta Falcon defense, what they wanted to do was take advantage of that, and they wanted to start attacking the same thing. So those backers of the Atlanta Falcons, they have to be really aggressive in that run game to take them out.
Archambault made the tackle, but Chris Dolman now comes in on second down and 7. Here comes a blitz on Young. He gets rid of it, and Waters out of the backfield, covered by Harper, and close to first down yardage, very close, and they may need a measurement.
Yeah, that right there was the patience that we talked about at the beginning of the game. Steve Young, as you mentioned, is working with the same offensive line for the first time this season. And this offense really has to just kind of take a step back and slow down. He's going to get a lot of different looks. That means the offensive line is going to have to read it, and the quarterback and receivers are going to have to read it. And when you get that look, be patient enough to break it off and make plays like you just saw.
And as we saw last week, the 49ers can beat you with short passes that normally would be runs for other teams.
That's always been the case for them. You know, and talking to defenders concerning the 49ers, they always say, you know, the thing is, it almost drives you nuts. They're so patient with that offense. And you keep getting that short stuff, knowing that a big one's coming. If you're not patient, they'll kill you.
Two tight ends in for the 49ers. It'll be 3rd and inches in Atlanta territory. Brent Jones lines up wide left. Rice in motion, and William Floyd dives forward, and he has the first down inside the 40. Archambault again.
Well, one of the ingredients that's been missing from the San Francisco offense, really, since Tom Rathman got hurt a couple years ago, was that power inside game. Now, William Floyd, he brings that to them. Now, Floyd's a big guy, about 242 or so, and he's really a confident guy. And he's also very calm. And he's so confident that he says, look, you need a foot? I'll get it for you. You need a big block? I'll get it for you, too.
First down on the 39. Young has time, and the pass is caught. Stepping out of bounds is Jerry Rice for his first catch, and it's another 49er first down.
Yeah, remember we talked about the patience that you have to have. But this is one of the looks that Jerry Rice will take advantage of. Look how deep these guys are. You know, if you're going to give Jerry Rice 10 yards, he's going to eat you alive. So what's he going to do? He'll drive you back 6 on DJ Johnson, get that first down right here. It's unbelievable. I mean, if you're going to give that to him, he'll have 200 yards passing without ever scoring a touchdown. He don't care.
He had a big game last year here as well with 6 catches and 105 yards. And here is William Floyd, and he cuts to the 20. Clay Matthews is there for the start. A gain of 6 yards for Floyd, who last week heard it from George Seifert for too much taunting of the crowd and celebrating. He said, that's the way I play football.
Yeah, he shouldn't have to worry about that. You know, when I came into the league, I'm an excitable guy. William Floyd's the same kind of guy. If you try to steal that from him, it's like stealing his heart. You don't do that. You let an excitable guy play, and that's what he should do.
Second down and 4 from the 20. And here's Ricky Waters, and he has another first down. Ricky Waters was upset that he didn't carry the ball more last week, and he's in the action and a gain of 9.
Yeah, and you know what he fouled? He fouled that big rookie William Floyd. Watch him right up here. And Floyd's going to come, and he's going to come up and make the nice block for Ricky Waters. See Floyd right there? Watch. Boom. The cut. See what that is? What that is a changeup. Floyd says, what I want to do is pound people into oblivion. You get a guy coming up, I'm going to hit you in the face. I love it. He said, but I'm smart enough to know that people will expect it. That's when I start cutting it.
He's there to stay at fullback for this team.
No question.
First down on the 11-yard line. An impressive drive by the Niners. Young fumbles and quickly covers up. Chuck Smith was right there to make the hit, and Young played it smart.
Chuck Smith using his speed to come around. He's working on Pollock. Right on the other side, he's going to come up, and then watch. He's going to get his hand on the ball and knock it out. Young knows where he wants to go with the ball. It's a 5-receiver route. Now watch Chuck Smith come back inside on Pollock. Has the presence to get his hand in there and slap the ball down. And speaking to June Jones about Chuck Smith, he said, you know, the guy started playing so good, heck, I had to put him in.
For Chuck Smith, his 4th sack of the season to lead the Falcons. It is now second down and 15. Clock running down, and here is Waters going off the left side, and there is a penalty marker down as Waters gets to the 10-yard line. And our first penalty of the game. And they didn't get the play off in time. Delay of the game.
Still something down.
You know, it's interesting watching that because one thing that Steve Young will do that very few quarterbacks will do, he'll start to develop a rhythm with his cadence. And he'll come up and he'll start it on one all the time. And then every now and then, and usually it's 3rd and short, he'll come up and he'll just go, boogo, and the ball comes off right away. And what it does, it gets your defensive lineman not set, and it'll give you that 1 yard.
Jumpy Geathers and Chris Dolman are both up front now for the Falcons on second down and 20. Young has to get rid of it in a hurry, and the pass is caught. And it's Jerry Rice, and he gets the ball to about the 6-yard line, where it'll be third down. A gain of 15 on that play. Kevin Ross defending.
You know, I spoke with Jerry Rice right before the game. I said, "You ready for this game?" He said, "Do you want to know something, Matt?" He said, "All week long they've been talking about the other matchup." And he said, "Hey, my hat's off to Andre Rison. He's a great player." But I said, "Today is my day to shine. We'll make them remember again." And he's going to make them remember.
Third down and 4. 134 consecutive games with a reception for Jerry Rice. And Chris Dolman might have moved, and he did, offsides. That may go against the Falcons. And if it is, it would be a first down.
Start before the snap.
But it is against
74
the 49ers.
offense. 5 yards. Still third
Steve
down.
Wallace, the left tackle.
And that 56 Dolman is the reason why that Wallace jumped. Now, Chris Dolman right now is really starting to pick up his game. You know, he came in, he was a little bit, you see a little jump right there with Wallace. So once you're set, you can't move. Now, Dolman comes in, and he's starting to get accustomed to the scheme. And when he's hot, boy, there's none better.
10th play of the drive, third down and 9 at the 10. Steve Young's pass is caught for the touchdown, Ricky Waters. 49ers score on their first possession despite 2 penalties and a sack, and lead it 6-0 on a 10-yard pass.
Well, they got an isolation on the safety, Scott Case, and they take him out, and nobody in the backfield, right? Nobody there. That means everybody's got to be covered. Scott Case can't come over in time. Waters just runs a circle route. Young sees it, and then, of course, he misses the dunk.
They won't penalize him for that.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
First touchdown catch of the year for Ricky Waters. An impressive drive by the 49ers. Doug Bryant. The extra point is perfect. And the 49ers quiet the crowd here at the Dome. And this was the third down play. Ricky Waters from Steve Young. 7-0 San Francisco.
Sunday is brought to you by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile retailers. By American Airlines, something special in the air. By Napa, we keep America running. And by Snickers, packed with peanuts, Snickers really satisfies.
Ryan with a line drive kickoff, and that will go out of bounds. So the Falcons will start from the 40-yard line. Good field position.
Yeah, this is a case of Steve Young making his play. When there's motion here, Scott Case has to take the motion. Jesse Tuckle's the only free guy, but because Young can run the football, he has to stay inside. Young is the only run threat. That leaves the middle of this wide open. Case has to take by position one part of the field away, which leaves the middle open, and that's a touchdown. That's a tough position if you're Jesse Tuggle, because you'd like to help on the underneath stuff, but you know Young can take off and run, so you have to do your best.
And let's see how Jeff George responds to that opening drive by the Niners. They start from the 40-yard line to the Falcons. On the run and shoot, the first pass to Terrence Mathis, and Merton Hanks rides him out of bounds after a short gain. So Jeff George, perhaps the biggest reason for the Falcons' early success, and second in the NFL in completion percentage. And the offensive line, Ken, Richards, Fortin, Zandowski, and Whitfield all have played well. Craig Hayward has made a difference. Emmanuel, Sanders, Mathis, and Rison make up the receivers in the run and shoot offense. After a gain of 3, it'll be second down and 7 from the 43-yard line. And a fine catch made that time by Ricky Sanders, and he may be short of a first down by less than a yard. They may have to check. Toy Cook defending. The 49ers will be in their nickel defense most of the day. And Todd Kelly, accounting on for pass rushing from the defensive end position, will start with Young, Stubblefield, and Jackson. The 2 linebackers, Norton and Plummer, against Hayward. And Sanders, Cook, and Davis are the corners to team up with McDonald and Hanks, the safeties. It'll be third and less than a yard. And they go to Craig Hayward. by Tim McDonald, and McDonald may go all the way, and McDonald is going to score. No penalty markers down. Touchdown, San Francisco. 49-yard return on the fumble from Craig Hayward.
Well, they wanted to put the head on him, and they put Ironhead right up inside, and right at the 50-yard line, that ball came out. Bryant Young just sticks his face right in the middle of that whole thing. And this plays to the strength of Bryant Young. He's a big, powerful young guy.
A stunner, Craig Hayward fumbles on 3rd and short, and the 49ers take advantage of that turnover. Tim McDonald for the touchdown. 13-0 to score, and Doug Bryant has really silenced the crowd here at the Georgia Dome. This is the worst case scenario for the Falcons as they trail the Niners 14-0.
Jackson did the old veteran maneuver. When he knew he had somebody at his back, he stuck his rear end down to make that big block. And then Tim McDonald runs 50 yards with a score, and he goes right to the oxygen bottle.
Bryant kicking off, and Verdun to return from the 5-yard line. Clarence Verdun. 3rd week he's been with the Falcons. They cut Tony Smith, who had been their return man.
Now I want you to watch right here, Bryant Young, right here. Now they put him here, and they expect these two guys to block him. Well, he jumps that gap. See this? With his strength, he hits Hayward, and then Stubblefield comes down, and Kelly, and then the ball's loose. Tim McDonald, ever present there. Now watch the old veteran rear end move. Watch Ricky Jackson. See, when you got a good keister, you make sure you use it. You get in the way, and that frees him up for the score.
Derek Kennard has a keister.
Yeah, he's the king.
He's the king of
Derek Kennard is the king, yeah.
1st and 10 on the 28-yard line. Falcons stunned here, trailing by 2 touchdowns. George's pass to Emmanuel, and the rookie from Rice is knocked out of bounds at the 36 by Eric Davis. Gain of 8.
The worst case scenario that could happen has happened, all right? They're down 14 points. Now you have to see the character of the new Atlanta Falcons, and the character falls on Jeff George. Now, George really is enjoying his best year. He's a tremendously talented guy. In fact, I don't even think we've touched the surface of how good he can be. But the knock on him has always been between his ears. Let's see how mentally tough he is. Let's see how things go when everything goes against him. Now he'll have his opportunity.
Well, this is a major test, no question. 2nd down and 2 on the 36-yard line. George's pass to Emmanuel, and another 1st down. Emmanuel was carted off practice on Friday after twisting a knee, and there was a question as to whether he would play today, but he is, and he's doing well.
Yeah, and he'll be ready. And another guy who's been ready all week has been over here, Deion Sanders and Andre Rison. And you wonder why the ball hasn't gotten into his hands. This is the 5th play. Well, there's your reason. They just mashed him up straight man. Now, remember this. Schematically, the Atlanta Falcons in that run and shoot, when they go away to the 3-receiver side, they're not going to throw the ball too many times to the 1-receiver side. So they'll go 3 and work that side. So a lot of times, you're not going to get the ball just because of formation.
Rison and Sanders matched up again. George on 1st down, going to Emmanuel.
Nice cover.
And covered well by Eric Davis. That is a textbook coverage by Davis downfield.
You know, Eric Davis, when Deion Sanders showed up, Eric Davis knew that he'd be getting a lot more business, okay? And so what kind of player was he? Well, he was actually enjoying probably his best year last year, and right now he's playing pretty darn good football. He won't ever get out of position. He's very, very competitive. Is he the best corner? No. Is he up there? Yeah, and he's going to get better. The best thing that happened to Eric Davis was Deion Sanders showed up.
I guess he made everyone better in the secondary. So the Falcons now have called a timeout, and to the resounding boos for the first time today.
We're in show business. We're having fun. We're ringmasters of one of the greatest circuses of all time. Wow, that's great. California has a very
49ers scored on their first possession and then picked up a fumble. Tim McDonald for the 14-0 lead. And the Falcons, after calling a timeout, have a 2nd down and 10 on the 45-yard line. There's McDonald, who had the big defensive play. another first down. He was covered that time by Toy Cook. And the Falcons moving the ball into Niner territory. This is Dick Stockton along with Matt Millen of Fox Sports, welcoming viewers around the world, especially in Canada, Germany, Mexico, and the United Kingdom. And we know you're enjoying this big early season game as much as our viewers here at home on the Fox network.
And we're enjoying it as much as Jeff George is enjoying it. Remember we talked about everything falling on his shoulders? Well, he's coming. I'll tell you, this guy, he looks very, very hot right now.
And is he happy after leaving Indianapolis? First and 10 on the 44 of the Niners. Pressure on Young, on George, and down he goes.
Yeah.
And Dana Stubblefield with the sack, and that is his third of the season.
Stubblefield just flew right up the field. This works exactly to Stubblefield's strength. Watch him right in here. You know what he does well? He really blows up the field. Look at this. Boom. Outside, then inside. Richards can't get to him. And then the way to attack the Atlanta Falcon pass game is right up the middle. Because you're not going to get there usually with the ball coming out so quick. If you're going to mount any kind of a rush, it comes right up the middle.
Well, that interior line by the Falcons was invisible on that one. Second down and 17. 6 defensive backs for San Francisco. Pressure from the outside on George. And now he goes sandwiched between Bryant Young and Dana Stubblefield, and a loss of 3. So another sack.
Yeah, a sack. And you want to know something now? This is all of the coverage. Now watch, you go back, he'll have some protection, but I want you to look at this. Everybody covered. See this? Everybody covered. Plus, they got help over the top. There's nowhere to throw this football. And because of that, George has to eat it, comes up and gives him a third down.
And actually, he gained 3 yards, so it isn't a sack, but the 49ers like their position right now, where it is 3rd and 14. Back on the 48 of the Niners. Just got it off in time, and Craig Hayward finds some running room. He'll be short of the first down by 5 yards. Ricky Jackson downfield makes the play.
Yeah, and that's going to bring up a 4th, and they're going to go for it. I don't see anybody moving on the sidelines, and that shows confidence in the scheme, and that shows confidence in the players.
So the first big decision, and a wise one, for June Jones. It is 4th down, and the Falcons will go for a trailing by 2 touchdowns. They need about 6 yards.
Well, you know, it's a wise decision if they make it. It's a bad decision if they don't.
4th and 6 out of the shotgun is George. High snap. He's got time, and his pass to Ricky Sanders is overthrown.
Yeah,
well, that wasn't a good percentage play.
No. He saw it open wide up, but that ball just took off on him.
Dana Hall defending downfield, and the 49ers will take over on downs when we get back to the Georgia Dome. On 4th and 6, the 49ers take over on downs, and they certainly have taken the crowd out of this with a 4th down stand and a couple of touchdowns. So they got to go back to the drawing board, does the Falcon offense. 1st and 10 on the 40 for Steve Young and company. Young swings it out to Waters. Little high stepping, and he is out of bounds at midfield by Ron George.
You know, the thing that confused me, look right here. Here's your first down mark right here. And they're going to run a 4-receiver route. Every one of them, 3 of these guys run goes. See this? 1, 2, 3. Everybody's downfield. That's 20 yards at least. I don't understand it. You're going to stretch the field. You have to have somebody work in the center of that field for a first down. Excuse me.
First down now for the 49ers at midfield. Who cuts up the middle and picks up about 5. Pierce Holt questioned whether he would play after missing 2 of the last 3 weeks, but here he is against his former team.
Yeah, and they need to have Pierce Holt play a big game. And he's still beat up. And, you know, he had the groin and he wasn't able to run, but he said, look, there's no way I'm not playing in this football game. They need Holt to come off the ball and control that left side so that their pass rushers can work outside and get jumpy gathers going inside with them.
2nd down and 5. Young getting pressure. And his pass is caught by Waters.
What a nice play by Roger Harper. Boy, was that nice. They had the screen, everybody out there. Harper came up. Now, he knew he was going to have to take on the big block of Jesse Sapolo. So he went up and he whacked him. Jesse Sapolo come out. Harper, 47, will come up and hit him, and as soon as he hits the ground, he comes right back up. Watch this. Boom! Now, right back up. It doesn't get any better than that. He didn't make the tackle, but he made the play.
That's aggressive defense by the Atlanta Falcons, and the shaken up player is Steve Wallace, 49ers left tackle, and there was good pressure up the middle by Bo Gardner on that last play.
They slipped him, and what happened was that they are going to let you go and come up inside. So Gardner just has to turn on a jet. You watch Gardner jump back inside. See, now they're going to let you go. Now you really have to start. Put the jets on, and it just looks like Archambault maybe kicked Wallace in the back of the head. But because of that little bit of pressure, that allowed Harper to come back up inside.
Wallace will be replaced by Harry Boatswain. And the other, Harris Barton, who hopes to return along with Ralph Tam after the bye week on November the 2nd. Boy, the Niners really hoping they get back. Here comes pressure on Young on third down, and Jerry Rice makes a great shoestring catch and is down at the 10 by D.J. Johnson. Big game by the Niners, 33 yards.
Remember we talked about the San Francisco 49ers just having patience. We know they're going to blitz us, and when we get that, we're going to have to take our shot. Here's your shot. And he knows. See where that ball was thrown? Low and outside to the middle of the field. See, Young knew that there was nobody in the middle of the field. And when there's nobody there, just throw it away. Let Rice use his speed. Forget the pattern. Use his speed to get to the ball, and that's what he did.
And Steve Young is a perfect 8 for 8 and 108 yards and a touchdown. First and goal at the 10. Steve Wallace is back in there for the Niners up front. Swing pass to Rice. And a good tackle that time by Ross. Gain of only 2 yards, but the Niners threaten again and could turn this game into a rout early.
No, it was kind of interesting listening to Jerry Rice. I mean, there was nothing. He just sat there. I said, Jerry, how do you feel? You know what? I'm going to have a big game. I know it. I mean, it just kind of came out. It wasn't cocky. He said, this is my time to shine. Let everybody else talk about it. Actually, I think he liked the fact that nobody really was talking about him. Finally had an opportunity to just go in and play a game.
Rice, by the way, is ahead of Charlie Joyner. Fourth place now. Here is Ricky Waters. And knocked out of bounds by Vinnie Clark. But the Niners getting awfully close to the goal line. Gain of 6 that time by Waters.
Now this looks like you were the bully in the block and somebody went up and slapped you in the face and you come out fighting. And the 49ers look like they're fighting right now. You know, the NFC West has been their turf. And you got a young upstart team coming and saying, look, we're pretty good. And you just step on the 49ers' toes and they're coming out swinging. She said, yeah, look at his helmet. You know, it looks like right on the side, Vinnie Clark got his buckle of his chin strap hooked into that. Took him for a ride.
Ball down by contact, literally. Third and goal, and Boyd's not going to get there, I don't believe. He may be short. Mel Agee came in and made a good play. And it is going to be fourth down for the 49ers, who have dominated this first quarter, and we may not get another playoff before it ends.
But a big play right now for the Atlanta Falcon defense. This is all attitude. This is pride.
They have silenced the crowd, and that is the end of the first quarter with the score. The San Francisco 49ers 14, the Atlanta Falcons nothing. Millen here at the Georgia Dome as we start the second quarter. The 49ers lead 14-0. It is fourth and goal at the 1, where they are 5 of 6 in fourth down conversions this year. Nearly perfect, and will try to give themselves a 3-touchdown lead.
The thing that's scary about the 49ers down here is they have so many different ways of beating it. They can power it now with William Floyd. They can get outside with the speed of Ricky Waters, and then they still have Young to buy time with his feet.
2 tight ends. They put Jones out to the left. Young is going to try to throw, and he does. Caught by Rice, and it's a touchdown.
What a great play.
He got the ball over the plane just as he was going down.
Oh, and did I forget to mention that other option they had, Jerry Rice?
Yeah. Bottom of your list, but it counts.
But what they do, they take Young, and they're going to run him back out. And they'll use his feet to allow Rice to get open. Now, Kevin Ross is all over this. He plays this perfectly. The ball's thrown the only place it can be. Now watch him closing the ball. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes you can do everything letter perfect, but you can still get scored on, and that's what happened.
Doug Bryan with his third extra point. Penalty flag is down. The kick was good. Last week against the Lions, we saw Rice on a 3rd and 1 catch a pass for a first down when he breaks off that route. Gordon McCarter is our referee. Veteran referee in the NFL. Well, Rice, touchdown catch number 6 on the year, and he continues to lead all NFL players all time in touchdowns.
12 men on defense on the try for a point. The 49ers have opted to take 1 point and accept the 5-yard penalty on the kickoff.
So it's a 21-0 lead now in favor of the Niners, and I think the test for the Atlanta Falcons is continue to try to come back. Look at Young, 10 for 10 and 2 touchdown passes. Last week he was 19 for 25. Well, another big game coming up later for first place in the NFC East. Philadelphia and Dallas. Charles Haley will be going after Randall Cunningham, you can be sure. Haley, a big force of the Cowboys defense coming up next.
Big force. I think right now, as the early part of the season, you can really make a case for Charles Haley as being the most valuable player in the NFL in defense. He's having that kind of a year. If you looked at him, you'd see, he had 4 sacks in the first week against Pittsburgh, and then only a sack and a half since then. But he's made so many plays, and that has allowed everybody else to make plays. So Charles Haley is just fortunate.
You pointed out when we did the Redskin game how he occupied 2 and sometimes 3 offensive linemen. So he occupies a lot of people and gets other people.
Yeah, and one guy who hasn't had an opportunity even to have a catch or a yard has been Andre Rison. And they talked about the big matchup with Deion Sanders. Sanders has been on him most of the time, matched up man. Not even a ball has been thrown that way.
Still surprising, you'd have to say, was that 4th and 6th attempt downfield by George when it looked like the Falcons could get back.
Yeah, that one's surprising. But hey, now they'll have their opportunity again to get right back. They're down 21. This is a big series.
Kicking off from the 35-yard line as a result of the penalty. Pegram at the goal line. Going outside to his left and taken down strong that time by Drakeford. That was Verdane, number 2, on the return, and Drakeford, the rookie defensive back. So Jeff George going to work again.
And everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong for the Atlanta Falcons.
Now, if you're the Falcons and you're trailing by 3 touchdowns, obviously you can't get it all at one time. But they've got to get something back.
Yeah, and that's the point on that 4th down. You don't go for the big one there on 4th down when you got to have the first down. You have to have somebody work in the center. They didn't have it. Now just go right back to the drawing board.
George has some time, and Emmanuel cutting over the middle gets hit a couple of times, but holds on for a gain of about 8.
Well, we talked about the coverage of Deion Sanders. You're going to watch him down here in the corner working on Andre Rison. Now, straight up, man, he'll have corner. You see he has the safety help right over here, Hank, now what? Now the ball comes out. He comes up. This is one thing he doesn't really like to do. He's not a real big fan of having to whack somebody, but he'll do it if he has to.
Emmanuel has already caught 4 passes today. That with Mathis and Rison on the field. 2nd down and 2. And the shuffle pass, Hayward after bobbling holds on. First down and tackle from behind at midfield. And a big gain for Atlanta. That was Ricky Jackson from behind and a gain of 17.
Yeah, and don't you know that Ricky Jackson knows that a loose Craig Hayward in the secondary is a dangerous thing. So he gets on his horse to make sure he gets him from behind. Now he almost loses the handle, but then when he does, the key with Hayward is you got to get big guys on him. See, Ricky Jackson gets on his horse from behind, and he knows he's going to turn loose back there. Eric Davis is no match, so you drag him down from behind.
Midfield, first down, Atlanta. completes the pass. Andre Rison with the catch.
Did you see the way Deion took him down? He just stood over him for a while and then touched him. And like he didn't even want anything to do with them. Just kind of went up, yeah, okay, touch.
You think those two have exchanged words somehow so far in this game?
They probably haven't said 2 words to each other out there. I think it's understood. I think enough has been said all week. Watch the end of this play. He goes down. Now watch Deion. Watch him like, I have nothing even to do with you. Think.
I don't mean harsh words. I mean just to say, hey, let's play.
I think that this is just one of those things where it's me against you. Keep your mouth shut and let's play.
Second down and 7. George's pass knocked down, intended for Emmanuel, and making the play was Eric Davis for the Niners.
Eric Davis could have had a pick. He played that beautifully. He read George all the way and had a nice break right at the end. He knocks it down. Really should have been an interception.
71,000 plus. You think the place is empty with the Niners taking the crowd out of the game early, leading 21-0 early here in the second quarter.
That's always a big thing for an opposing team, especially in a dome where it can get so loud and it's a big game. You come in there, you score early, you get everybody's mouth shut, and you just go about business.
Third down and 7 out of the shotgun is Jeff George. And the hard count might have drawn Jackson offside.
Offside, 57,
right.
Defense, unabated pass to the quarterback.
He said all right, or was he bored? He's out there going,
I think someone said, give us the penalty. He said, all right. And there he was.
Ricky Jackson, still playing well. Doesn't have the same step that he had just even 3 years ago. But so fundamentally sound, he'll never hurt you.
So following the penalty, it's third down and 2 on the San Francisco 42-yard line. George's pass is caught by Terrence Mathis. And a first down to the 25. Davis covering. We haven't talked about him. All he's doing, Matt, is leading the NFL in receptions coming into this game.
Yeah, and he says he couldn't be happy. He said free agency really helped me. He's a slot receiver. He hasn't played really since his sophomore year in college. And all he's done, like you said, is lead the league. Real quiet, soft-spoken guy. Really is enjoying it. Doesn't really want the limelight. Doesn't want anybody to talk about him. Just throw him the football.
One of the many free agents who have helped the Falcons. He came over from the Jets. First down now on the 25. And on the draw, Hayward, nothing. And great play made that time.
Hey, we got some duking going on.
Andre Rison and Deion Sanders. Well, I guess they are talking to one another now.
Yeah, I think they finally said something. How do these things get started? Well, watch. Andre's going to come off the ball, and he takes a shot right at the beginning. You see, this was talked about this week. They said, Andre Rison will bloody your nose. But I got news for you. Deion's giving that whole field left hook. Did you see that?
Right.
That's a classic.
Well, let's go to our fight expert, Ron Pitts, down on the field. Ron, what do you have?
Blame it on Rison because he came off the ball, tried to block, and he went right to the jaw of Deion. As we can see right now, they're still getting into it, and Matt, you're right. These two guys, forget the helmets, forget the pads, they were going after it, man. That was going to be a 10-rounder.
I got personal.
Ron Pitts down on the side. How often do we come in talking about a one-on-one battle that never really materializes, and not only does it on the field in the play, but it does physically, man?
Yeah, I got to tell you, watch. Andre comes off. Now, this is perfectly illegal. He goes right up into the chest, and then he blocks him again. There's nothing wrong with that. And then Deion, now they just start duking. Watch the left. I didn't know.
Great fight.
That's a clap. Where's Gil Clancy when you need him? I got to be honest with you.
Those are the judges.
One of these guys could get heat from the game.
Or both.
Or both. They could get bounced right out of this football game, and that could really change the whole game.
You don't often see a receiver and a defensive back not downfield, but at the line of scrimmage getting into a scuffle like that.
Yeah, no, they came off the line of scrimmage, and Rising was fine. He could block them like that. And then there was a little bit of extra push at the end.
Personal foul, number 21 on the defense. Who was the instigator of the fight. It is 15 yards, automatic first down.
Yeah, actually, Dion is lucky that he's not thrown out of the football game. Because usually when that happens, you get to catch a guy duking like that, you're gone.
The only thing that would make this crowd love it even more would be if the Falcons were in front and not trailing by 3 touchdowns.
Or right now they come back and throw a touchdown to Andre Rison.
And change the momentum a bit.
Right.
11:38 remaining in the second quarter.
It's funny you mention that. All of a sudden, listen, hey, the crowd's back in it. They got something to cheer about. Sometimes it takes a fight. It takes a big play. It could be a touchdown. It could be a fumble. It could be anything to get you back in it. And right now, it could be that Andre Rison picked his spot.
Now the question is, can the Falcons take advantage of it? 1st and 10 on the Niner 12-yard line following the 15-yard penalty. George under pressure, throws to Ricky Sanders, touchdown! And a flag is down. And they're going to bring it back. That could really spoil the Falcons' drive to change the tenor of this game. Face mask penalty against Atlanta coming up.
Boy, that's just a kick in the groin right there. They had everything going for them. They start to get the crowd back in it. They got a big first down. They get the touchdown. And now it comes back.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask, number 78 offense. 15 yards.
Mike Ken, 17-year veteran.
Yeah, watch Mike Ken, number 78, right down here. He's working on Todd Kelly. Kelly got a nice jump on him. Then he just got his hand right on his face. You see how Kelly's face was jerked to the left. McCarter was right on top of it, and that brings it back.
If it weren't for the face mask call, George would have been sacked for sure.
And I got to tell you something else. Andre Rison had Deion Sanders beat on that last play.
First down and 25. The ball back to the 27. They give it to Hayward. Not easy to bring down. And he picks up a couple. Gain of 6 yards.
One of the big concerns for the San Francisco 49ers was Ironhead Hayward today. And the reason he was is because they said, you know, this is like a fast ball offense. And it's always coming at you. Speed, speed, speed. And then here comes power back inside. And if we put all of our little guys in here to cover the speed, and then Ironhead gets on us, you know, we could be in trouble.
Second down and 18 for the Falcons. George has time, goes up the middle to Emmanuel. And that'll bring up 3rd and long. He's covered immediately.
Did you see Bert Emanuel? He did his best Curly Howard right there. He ran right into 3 guys and did the old hoi polloi move and went right back out.
A lot of hoi polloi with Norton finally bringing him down.
He comes right back inside the ball. Now watch, he sees 3 guys and he just does, look at, he tried to do the curly shuffle and get out of that thing.
Well, the Falcons have 2 downs now to try to get a first down. It'll be 3rd and 14. There's Bert Emanuel, rookie, an impressive rookie from Rice. Kelly putting pressure on George, and his pass was intended for Mathis. And it'll be 4th down, and they're going to go for 3 here.
Yeah, Todd Kelly, who hadn't even been playing up until last week, number 58, he's going to get the big jump, and he's working the outside shoulder of Ken. First of all, he gets a jump. Look at that. There's a hold right there they don't call, and Kelly runs right through it. Todd Kelly, this is the best I've seen him play in the 2 years. Former number 1 pick. He started last year, has really had problems getting to the quarterback, but the last 2 weeks, he's really playing well.
Had his first sack last week against Detroit. Now a 34-yard attempt by Norm Johnson. And Johnson's kick is good. So the Falcons get something out of it. It is now 20 white circles?
Yeah, the kid.
Deion Sanders.
Deion the kid.
Deion the kid.
Hey, I like that. Hey, you know what I liked about that? Nobody was backing down. Everybody been talking their smack back and forth all week long. I'm going to do this. I'm not going anywhere. You're the guy. All right, now you get into it. Man, they duped it. They just stood there toe to toe.
Falcons had a touchdown called back because of penalty, had to settle for 3, and so with the score 21-3, Norm Johnson kicking off, and Dexter Carter deep for the Niners. It is a short kick relatively, and Carter on the 6th return. And a good tackle that time, made by Jack, the rookie, so the Niners will take over on offense with 9:34 remaining in the first half.
Pros wear Russell Athletic because it's made tough. It has to be.
Hey, kid! Hey, you got my lucky jersey.
Yeah?
I got kind of carried away. Can I have it back?
You gotta be kidding.
Get off my back.
No!
You want athletic wear that can survive anything? Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Who was that kid? I don't know. Just sign him up.
It starts with fresh baked bread, juicy slices of mouth-watering steak, and the kicker, it's covered with A1 steak sauce, plus all the fresh fixins you like. Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. If you're not hungry yet, you better check your pulse.
Andre, say cheese!
Is this dull or what?
You gotta take your best shot and show 'em what you got.
Express yourself.
The Rebel X from Canon.
They really paid attention to the details.
I just love the
Fulton County Stadium, and today's appearance by the Blockbuster Video Blimp is part of its 1994 nationwide tour on behalf of the Children's Miracle Network. The Blimp promoting the Give a Kid a Lift program sponsored by Blockbuster Video and benefits hospitals for children throughout the United States.
Is that song they always sing? Land of the free and home of the brave?
The Braves.
Is that what they're talking about?
Exactly right. Steve Wallace suffered a minor concussion. He came back in the game, but now he's been replaced again by Harry Boatswain. And Chris Dolman replaces Archambault on the defensive line for Atlanta. Worst starting field position for the Niners here. Their own 28. They give the ball to Ricky Waters with blocking up front. Good hard running by Waters. Tackled by Pierce Holt. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Dick, in a battle of teams with only one victory apiece, Washington scores first as Heath Schuler finds the NFL's total yardage leader, Brian Mitchell, who takes the pay dirt's quick move right there. He finds the end zone. Washington on top 7-0. Let's take it back to Atlanta. Dick and Matt.
All right, JB. Redskins gave the Eagles a pretty good game last week. 2nd down and 6 with Rice in motion. And here is Waters again. They're running Waters, and he gets inside the 45. Gardner got a hand on him and a gain of 5.
William Floyd just put a hurting on that backer. I mean, he came through and lowered the boom. Now, in the previous play, I started laughing because William Floyd came and pushed the guy at the end. It was Jesse Tuggle. Now, watch him right here. He's going to come through the hole. Watch Tuggle. He just pushed him last time. Look at it. Boom! Just crushed him. That's what you want out of a big physical fullback. You want that power game, and you want attitude. And where that shows up is when you jump right in the guy's face.
Pretty versatile fullback who caught 5 passes as well last week against the Lions. 3rd down and 1. 2 tight ends for the Niners. And this time Floyd. And that's a great challenge there with Clay Matthews against William Floyd.
Yeah, you know who made that play though? Jesse Tuggle. Now Jesse Tuggle just got crushed the previous play, and now he's not going to let it happen again. So this time, he just comes flying. Watch this. He's going to come right up, and he's going to hit the halfback, Ricky Waters, and then he'll come over the top, and he'll come outside. You know, you can't draw that up any better. That's as good as it gets from your linebacker.
You know, Matt, this is turning out to be a heavyweight fight the way the contact is going on.
I like it. You know, it's funny because that fight really is kind of picked up a little bit for the entire Falcon team.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer will be kicking to Clarence Verdane. Good kick by Wilmsmeyer. He was sensational last week against Detroit. And it'll be down at the 16-yard line by LaVille. So the Falcons, after a 49-yard kick, get another chance, trailing the 49ers 21-3. NFL trivia, and our question today, who holds the record for most rushing yards in a game against the 49ers?
I was at that game. I know the answer to that.
Did you work that game?
Yes, I did. It was last year, and the guy burst on the scene.
All right, we'll give you the answer shortly. 1st and 10 on the 16-yard line. Charles Mann and Red Hall have come in on the defensive line for the 49ers. By Ken Norton. There's Risen and Sanders. Nothing to say to each other after their fisticuffs earlier.
Now this thing was a piece of work. It's a thing of beauty, and I think what's happened really is it's got Atlanta back in it because it got the defense fired up. I mean, that's some good duking. That's some good fast swinging, and he wants more.
Sanders was hit with a 15-yard penalty following that incident. 2nd down and 8 for Jeff George. Pressure on George. He finds Risen.
He's looking right for Sanders. But he ran out of bounds. That surprises me.
He got the first down, though.
He got the first. But one thing that Deion Sanders does not do real well is he doesn't tackle real well. And so if you're the Atlanta Falcons, what you want to do is you want to make him tackle. You want to, by position, get him out there. And then when you get the ball into the hands of a guy like this, hey, take your shot. Go up and pound him a little bit. He'll come back. He'll challenge you. I mean, Deion Sanders is a competitor. He'll tackle you if you have to. He just doesn't necessarily like to tackle all the time.
Got a feeling Risen wants the ball, huh? 1st and 10. This time on the right, and the pass is caught by Terrence Mathis, and another first down, and the Falcons showing good rhythm offensively for the first time today, and a gain of 15 yards.
And that's a familiar target right there, Terrence Mathis and Bert Emanuel, young guys who are just going to get better in this scheme. And really, both of those guys had to adjust to the ball that Jeff George throws. And speaking to Terrence Mathis, he said, yeah, when I first came here, I was used to the ball coming from O'Brien and from Boomer Esiason. He said, heck, I ran 40 yards, and here comes Jeff George's ball over my head.
Darrell Spencer has replaced Mathis, who may have been hurt going out. First down, Craig Hayward is tackled from behind by Charles Mann after a short gain. Winding down to 5 minutes remaining in the first half. The 49ers lead 21-3.
Charles Mann, speaking of him right before the game, I asked him how things were going. He said, you know, finally, my legs are starting to come underneath me. You know, I didn't have any mini camps. I didn't have any training camp. A couple of guys went down. They brought me out here. And he says, I think I can play. I feel good, but I really need training camp because I got to get my legs in the field back under me. He says, right now, he's starting to get that feel.
Playing left defensive end, 2nd down and 7. George's pass, and he can zing it, is complete to the 45-yard line, and it's Andre Rison again. And a gain of 8 yards, and very close to the first down, and I think Atlanta has it. It is.
One of the criticisms of Jeff George so far in this offense is that he looks to Andre Rison almost too much. And when he starts to come off of Rison as the primary man all the time, that opens up the offense. You can see the zone. Sanders sitting back, he just breaks in front of him.
On the Niners' 45-yard line. Let's see if there's a false start. Or an offsides.
Quarterback came out without the ball. 5 yards, still first down.
So a 5-yard penalty will make it 1st and 15. And now the answer to today's Aflac trivia question. Eric Pegram holds the record for most rushing yards in a game against the 49ers. He gained 192. Matt was here. He can verify it. That was last September here at San Francisco. Yes, it was. Yeah. I want to make sure you knew where it was. 1st and 15. Back at midfield. On the draw play, Craig Hayward. And Hayward picks up about 4. Troy Wilson brings him down.
And picks up a nice block inside by big Mike Zandowski. number 72, the right guard. And I think it's important for the Atlanta Falcons to use that power game inside. To start power. The 49ers are playing these guys with 2 linebackers. And you want to start to get those linebackers conscious of the run and draws them up a little bit. And when they start drawing them up, then that opens up the short inside middle of the field.
Second down and 12. Dennis Brown also in up front for the 49ers. Up the middle, and the pass is caught again. And this time Terrence Mathis makes himself available, and Tim McDonald, the strong safety, but not before a gain of 15 and another Falcon first down.
Yeah, you get a feeling right now that the Atlanta Falcons have calmed down. Hey, the worst has happened. Now we come in, just settle down and throw the ball. Let the receivers find the creases in this zone. You see, he breaks underneath one corner in front of the safety, and all you do in zone is just find where they're not. Run to where they're not. It's kind of like Dizzy, you run where there ain't. You know, you just go there, and when you have a quarterback like George, the ball's coming out real quick.
Patience, you mentioned it at the top of this program. First and 10 on the 32-yard line. George with plenty of time going for Rison against Sanders, and a pass interference call downfield. Let's see who is on. Deion's pointing to Rison.
There was some pushing and shoving going on down there.
Pass interference, number 21.
Listen to the cheer now.
Automatic first down.
Yeah, watch it. Perfect matchup right down below. Just goes now by position. He's taking away the inside. Now he goes with the burst of speed. See, Deion Sanders is so good. He did 2 things wrong there, but he's so fast that he can still make the coverage. See, he jammed them outside, and then he turned his head and looked back at the quarterback. Usually when that happens, you'll get a little bit of vertical separation. But Deion Sanders is so fast that he can just run with it without even looking.
This is an X-rated game. 21-yard penalty. It is a first and 10. Outside the 10-yard line, George looks it out to Hayward. Good ad-libbing by Jeff George, who had his receivers covered downfield. Norton clamped down on Hayward, and we're down to the 2-minute warning here at the Georgia Dome. 2 minutes, 1:56 on the clock.
Grown up.
He'd enjoy the X-rated game.
Deion. I think they were just saying that Deion was a peon, that's all.
Something like that. Second and 10. Falcons need a touchdown. George gets away from Ricky Jackson. And again, the Niners do a sensational job of covering the receivers downfield.
Watch Whitfield in this protection. First of all, there's a lot of time to throw the ball, but it's a short field. Now, Whitfield's right up at the top. Ricky Jackson's going to beat him, and George has a presence to just keep on getting deep. See, as he beats it, and watch Whitfield come back. Hey, get away from my quarterback. Even with all that time, there's no place to throw the football.
6 defensive backs for the 49ers. Whitfield, who June Jones told us the other day, he's a Pro Bowl player now.
He's playing very, very well.
Third down and 10. 3 wide receivers to the left. And they're going to have a false start against the Falcons, apparently. That's the second mix-up that Jeff George has had.
False start. Quarterback came out without the ball. 5 yards, still third down.
So a 5-yard penalty called against George. Want to remind you, coming up, Dockers halftime, James Brown and Terry Bradshaw. Scores and highlights. And Sweet Feet. Most elusive and explosive runs in a new edition of Sweet Feet. Third down and 15 for the Falcons.
Hey, just got that 5 yards back. Give him the hard count, make him come off sides. Nothing drives a coach more nuts than that.
Offside, 58 defense, Unabated pass
Todd
towards
Kelly.
the backfield.
Raiders leading Miami. Colts and Bills are tied. Jets leading New England. And, of course, we want to remind you that the second half of our doubleheader later today, for first place in the NFC East, the Eagles, red hot with Randall Cunningham against the Dallas Cowboys. There's the penalty story thus far.
This is big right now for the Atlanta Falcons. They can get right back in here. Right before the half. You got a minute 50 to go.
3rd and 10, the 10th play of the drive here. George has time, and his pass is intercepted.
Uh-oh. They're not catching him.
Going down the sideline.
Deion
Sanders
is dancing. He's looking backwards from about the 40-yard line.
Oh, is he going to do a number on the crowd here? And that's the second return for a touchdown. He returned one against the New Orleans Saints in his first game, 71 yards.
You think that San Francisco 49er team is happy they got him? Look him down there. The whole team down to get him. You take your shot at Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders has something you can never teach, and that's tremendous speed and explosion. See how he reads the zone? He sees that zone. Look at that. That should have been a completion. Instead, that's 95 yards the other way.
He is still dancing, 92-yard officially on the return on the pass intended for Ricky Sanders. And if that doesn't put a stake through the heart of this crowd, I don't know what will. Well, Sanders was penalized and now gets his revenge. Doug Bryan with the extra point with a minute 32 to go in this first half. And it's 28-3 now in favor of the 49ers. Take 7 off one side, add 7 on the other. His 92-yard interception for a touchdown is 1 yard short of the team record set by Alvin Randolph. Boy, what a response. Deion Sanders could not have scripted this first half any differently, except maybe not get a shot from Andre Rison earlier.
Yeah, you know, and I see it looks like one of his teeth is missing. I wonder if Andre didn't knock one of those things out.
Kickoff. Bryan has Verdun and Pegram. It's Pegram returning now for the Falcons. And he brings it up to the 33-yard line with 1:28 remaining in the first half. Well, if you're looking for action and adventure, turn to Fox this Friday night and meet a new breed of superhero, Mantis, followed by the show USA Today calls excellent, thrilling, and terrifying, The X-Files. It's a night of all new episodes this Friday on Fox.
Remember at the start of the game, Dick, we talked about what they had to do. The Atlanta Falcons had to do, and June Jones said, you know, we can't turn the ball over. We can't have interceptions. We can't have any kind of a fumble recovery. And now Deion Sanders goes 92, so they bring in Tyrone Drakeford because he's still tired over there.
Rookie from Virginia Tech. Drakeford in there now. Out of the shotgun is Jeff George. Nowhere to go with him. And he slides forward. Once again, the 49ers secondary doing a brilliant job on the Falcon receivers downfield. And the 49ers have capitalized on 2 turnovers. Tim McDonald with a fumble recovery for a score, and then Deion's TD. Second down and 4. There's a pass drilled, and it's caught by Emmanuel out of bounds, and he stops the clock with 58 seconds. Dana Hall was covering. That was a 26-yard gain, and Hall adjusting his shoe. Deion taking a well-deserved breather right now as Drakeford had gone in for him, and I wonder if he's all right. It looked like he's flexing that
maybe
thigh.
Maybe pulled a left hammy right there, left hamstring. He's stretching it out.
First down on the 36. And the pass again to Bert Emanuel, and Davis covering. I hope that Deion didn't hurt that on the dance. It was a long dance after the touchdown return.
Well, you know, the thing is, Deion Sanders has such tremendous man-to-man skills, and it's ironic that he gets the big interception off of zone. And he passed the one guy out back inside, and then Ricky Sanders tried to sneak out, and then he just took it the other way.
Second down and 1. And George wants to go to the air. It's to Hayward for the first touchdown. Falcons still have 2 timeouts remaining, and I'm sure they're going to use them both. And they're going to use one right here. So the clock now shows 44 seconds after the gain of 5. We'll be back.
Next on Fox Doubleheader Sunday, scrambling quarterback Randall Cunningham leads his high-flying Eagles into Dallas to face the defending Super Bowl champion Cowboys. Can they stop Emmett, Aikman, and Urban? It's a battle for first place in the NFC East. All part of a Fox NFL Doubleheader. Next.
Word on Deion Sanders is that he's suffering from cramps, which is why he is on the sideline. Here's the dance after the touchdown return.
Well, you know, the thing is, I couldn't do that if I wanted to. I wouldn't even know how to do that. You see that big smile he had? There's one tooth missing right there.
I think Andre knocked it out? Probably not.
So. I don't think so.
Well, now he has cramps. Brilliant play by Sanders. 92 yards, tiptoeing down the sideline. Second touchdown interception return of the year. He had a 74-yarder against New Orleans. First and 10 for the Falcons. Pocket breaking down on him, and the whistle had blown. Down by contact at the 38-yard line by Todd Kelly.
Yeah, Todd Kelly is really playing well today, coming off the corner. And then Bryant Young inside is the other guy. Watch Bryant Young right here and Kelly right here. Both these guys make this play. Young working on Zandowski, and then a lot of time to throw the football. And they've crushed the pocket, and then Kelly comes up with the sack.
Jeff George has been under siege today. 2 sacks, 4 hurries. Loss of 16 on that play. Screen pass to Craig Hayward.
Another time that Ricky Jackson knows he can't let him get going. Jackson picking him down from behind.
Timeout called by the Atlanta Falcons with 18 seconds.
I'm Howie Long, and for 13 years in the NFL, I terrorized quarterbacks. I lived for it. And when I retired, I had one big concern, that I'd never have the opportunity to bother another quarterback again. Yes! Thank you, God, for giving me a reason to live. What are you so happy about? Nothing, partner.
Fox NFL Sunday, the pregame show with attitude.
Wonder what June Jones is thinking and what he's going to tell his team, trailing 28-3, 18 seconds remaining, and the Falcons are out of timeout.
Well, they better think of something quick, I'll tell you that.
Nightmarish first half, and he can credit the 49ers. Young was perfect on the first series when the Niners scored in their first possession. McDonald picks up a fumble for a touchdown. Falcons are stopped on 4th down. Rice catches a touchdown pass, and then a TD by Atlanta's called back by penalty, and then Dion returns an interception 92 yards. Couldn't be any worse for the Atlanta Falcons side of things. But for the Niners, they got to be enjoying this big lead. 3rd and 22 coming up. George is going deep for Rising. Double covered, incomplete, and 12 seconds remain.
Well, to me, through the first half, I think the big difference with the 49ers defense today has been the coverage by their secondary people. I mean, Deion Sanders, obviously, you know, he had the big pick and stuff, but, hey, the safety's playing back there. Eric Davis is playing a good football game. You got Merton Hanks who's really playing. Tim McDonald's playing. All those guys back there, they're where they have to be, and they're not letting George throw the ball downfield.
52-yard field goal attempt for Norm Johnson. A booming kick, it's long enough, and it hits the upright and bounces off. That's the way it's gone for the Falcons in this first half. 7 seconds remain. But a great point on the secondary under the challenge against the run and shoot, and they get flying color grades in this first half.
I don't think there's any question the secondary has been the difference. And you're right. You know, when things go bad, you know, they become like the old Maxwell Smart. Missed it by that much. Hits the post.
So with 7 seconds to go, the 49ers take over. 28-3 the score. And the Niners have made the big plays on defense in this first half. And that'll be the last play of the first half. This crowd has never been in it, and you can't blame them. And that's the end of the first half with the score. The 49ers 28 and the Falcons 3. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station.
Tonight, picking a video can be a real hassle.
How about this? 4 weddings and a funeral.
That's kind of like 5 of the same thing, isn't it?
But when it's Al's turn to choose,
My favorite, Booty and the Beast.
you won't believe what he finds.
Mercy!
Married with Children.
It's not what you think.
Watching Fox NFL Sunday.
It's lunchtime. You're hungry and you need somewhere.
And welcome to the Dockers halftime. And folks, Atlanta is trailing big to San Francisco 28-3. This was expected to be a war in Atlanta. Not only was the lead for the NFC West at stake, but 2 guys, Andre Rison and, of course, Deion Sanders, on our pregame show, let it be known that there was no love lost for each other.
I mean, if it was possible, I would love to everyone else to get off the field so we could just go at it one-on-one. Yeah, I mean, I'm that kind of guy.
I never said anything derogatory towards Deion, you know, and if he has a personal vendetta against me or a problem with me, the hell with him. You know, and if he want to go one-on-one, we can go one-on-one all day.
Well, that kind of a guy went at Andre Rison. These two here on a running play. Andre Rison is blocking. Deion takes offense at it, and Terry, they look like 2 cruiserweights going at it.
A couple of children out there having a bad day at work, it looks like. But that's the silliest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then you run backwards. I mean, don't run backwards, Andre. Bust him one if you're going, you know. And then on top of all of that, you know, I think Gordon McCarter, the referee, I think he should have pitched them. I should get them out of there. And the only reason they weren't pitched is because they're both superstars. Mm-hmm. And that's a fine example we set for everybody else around this league. So if they can get away with it, nobody else can. Deion was the one that started it. Deion should have been the one definitely pitched out of the game. And if he does that, he doesn't have the 92-yard interception, which is the second longest in 49 history, and this game's a lot closer.
And we'll talk about that indeed. Of course, Deion got the 15-yard penalty, nothing on Andre Rison.
Would you have pitched him?
I would have kept them in there. I would have found a way to keep them in there. I wanted to keep the stars in there. Let's go take a look at the highlights and see what happens now. Again, we mentioned 28-3. In fact, I would have kept them in there. 28-3. Take a look. Steve Young starts it off quickly. It's 10 of 10. We talked to Jim Bates, defensive coordinator of Atlanta. He said we'll play mostly zone, no man-to-man, and Young is killing them. Here, Hayward fumbles coming off a big week last week. Tim McDonald scoops it up, 49-yard TD run. And this just absolutely breaks their back. 2 big turnovers in this game for the 49ers that led to touchdowns. Here's the 92-yarder. Had Deion been pitched, this would not have happened. And now let's do some hot dog showboat, Deion, which you do very well. There it is. There you go. High stepping. I'd love to see the guy pull a hamstring about right there doing something like that. But instead, it goes as a score. Deion helps San Francisco out in front by the score of 28-3 down in Atlanta. Okay, moving through the rest of the scores. In Washington, the Redskins are blanking the Cardinals 14-0. Heath Schuler to Brian Mitchell, the first score in that one. Darrell Green with an interception return for a score. Disarray down in Miami, but the Raiders are leading at 10-7. Jeff Hostetler yanked after yelling at Art Shell. Indianapolis and Buffalo, the score is all tied at 10 apiece there. And New England and the Jets lead at 21-7. And Pittsburgh is blanking Cincinnati. Back with more after this. Watching the great athletes of the NFL perform at their best. But it's hard to appreciate how great they really are unless you see all the great moves together. And that's what we're doing right here on Dockers Halftime, showing you the great hits, runs, passes, and plays of the NFL. Last week, it was the great hits. This week, it's the great runs, and we call it Sweet Feet. Sweet Feet! understand why defensive linemen think that Barry Sanders has ball bearings in his joints. And we'll swivel back with more of Doctor's Halftime after this.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
What if you took the best-selling car in America, Ford Taurus, and gave it something special, like sport bucket seats, a rear spoiler, and aluminum wheels, and then you added a whole list of other standard features like dual airbags, air conditioning, and power windows and locks? Well, you'd probably have a car that just went out of your price range, right? Wrong. Introducing the new 95 Taurus SE, a special edition. Now with the same 2.9% financing or $500 cash back you can get on every Taurus model. For limited time, only at your local Ford dealer.
This label tells you it's 100% cotton. This label tells you it's 100% real cheese. And this label tells you it's 100% low fares. Always check the label. Southwest, the low-fare airline. On most airlines, you can only get a low fare to a few places. But Southwest has low fares everywhere we fly. So for low fares every time you fly, don't get stuck on some other airline. Southwest, the low-fare airline.
Brace yourself, boys, the earth's gonna shake. New Taco Bell burritos called Rancho Steak. 99 cents each with marinated steak and pepper jack cheese. Jalapeno beans and seasoned rice and real cheddar cheese. Taco Bell. Just 99. But the Rancho Steak burritos for a limited time, so cross the border.
First, a few words from the car industry.
The latest inventory in recent memory. There could be extreme shortages.
And now a few words from your quality Buick dealers. Don't wait, because we still have a great selection of closeout price Buicks, including Century. The midsize car that has the quality of Buick and is priced $2,500 less than Toyota Camry DX and $1,300 less than Honda Accord is now closeout price. So hurry before the buy of a lifetime becomes yesterday's news. At your quality Buick dealers of Idaho, bumper to bumper, Buick is better.
Hardball, a Major League comedy tonight after The Simpsons.
Getting ready for the start of the third quarter. The 49ers lead the Falcons 28-3. And this first half highlight is brought to you by MCI Proof Positive.
Now, we talked about this, and everybody's looked at it all through the halftime. But the impressive thing here is that Sanders playing that zone, that he sees the whole field and then makes the break. And then the one thing you got to remember is, only a few guys can dance from 40 yards out. Linemen out, linebackers forget it. Only DBs can dance like that. It's kind of funny.
92-yard return by Dion, who was, I guess, fortunate to still be in the game after that clash with Rison.
Yeah, I got to tell you, and Terry Bradshaw talked about it at halftime that he should maybe have been canned. Usually when a guy starts duking like that, there's no questions asked. You just heave him right out. I know from past experience, as soon as I took a poke and I saw a flag, I knew I was gone. So he was probably very fortunate to still be in there.
Great defensive effort, as you pointed out, for the 49ers in the first half. And there you can look right down the line, especially holding Hayward and Rison, but the turnovers was the key.
Yeah, points off the turn. You got two, and then they got the 2 touchdowns right after that. Whenever you can score, and especially in games like, they knew that would be a problem. The Falcons knew that turnovers would be a key. June Jones talked about it. He said, we can't hand this thing away, and they have.
All right, right now let's go down to the field, and the third member of our team, Ron Pitts. Ron?
Yeah, we just talked to June coming out here, and he said the problem right now is they got to start running the football, but they also need points on the board. That's the dilemma. And you look at the success they've had with Craig Hayward, and that's what we talked about all week long. The 49ers being inside with Plummer and Norton and not really wanting to step up and really take people on physically. But that's their challenge. I think you're going to see Hayward more, but they got to get the big plays. And if you look at June Jones, he's also limping. Somebody rolled up on his knee on the sideline, so it's not only a rough day for the Falcons, but a rough day for him, too.
Sure is, at least they have.
You know it's bad. You know it's bad when your coach is limping.
Okay, we heard from June Jones. What is your feeling about the Falcons getting back in this game?
Yeah, the problem with having to run now with Ironhead Hayward is that you're down 28-3. And it's not like it's an even score. You got to come back, and they got to throw the football. They got to get quick scores. They just can't methodically work it all the time because, really, the Falcons have not stopped the 49er offense.
Jeff George has been under terrific pressure. Secondary has done the job, but look at these numbers. 2 sacks, 4 hurries. He's been knocked down 3 times in that 1 interception, the 92-yard return by Deion Sanders, when it looked like the Falcons were going in. You have to remember the Atlanta Falcons came close to scoring 2 touchdowns themselves.
Yeah, and instead of having the 14, it's on the point on the board the other side. So, yeah, and I think this right now, this is a huge series for the Atlanta Falcons. They've got to come out and they've got to score 6. They can't have 3. They got to come out and they got to get the score to 28-10 to not only give themselves confidence, but give themselves a shot to get back in.
Talked about the superstition in the pregame show that the 49ers are wearing their throwback uniforms despite the fact that this is not a throwback weekend. And all you have to do is look at a superstitious head coach in George Seifert. The team 3-0 wearing these uniforms from 1955. Well, he's got them wearing them today.
And I don't care what anybody says. I guarantee it's because George says we're wearing them. We're 3-0. We're wearing them now.
Clarence Verdane, the return from the 6-yard line. And tripped up by Drakeford. Good play by the rookie defensive back. There's a Falcon shaken up as well, and that's Eric Pegram. I wonder if he's all right, whether we see more of Eric Pegram instead of Hayward for the explosiveness. Remember, he gained 192 yards against the Niners last year.
Yeah, he might be the guy to go to now. June Jones said that we would see Pegram. He's more explosive than is Hayward. He might be the guy to go to right now. But remember, Hayward's back there not only for running the power game inside, but he's also a great blocker.
1st and 10 on the 20. Drakeford is in instead of Deion Sanders. On 1st down, George's pass is intercepted by Merton Hanks. Still on his feet. Ready to lateral, and Merton Hanks is inside the 10. His 2nd interception in as many weeks.
And the first play of the second half, exactly like last week. First play of the second half. Last week it broke the back of the Detroit Lions. This week it could serve as the backbreaker for the Atlanta Falcons. Watch the tip right off of Rison's hands. And then Hanks, what a great interception. And then, boy, the guy really has a good sense of running the football. First he held it like a loaf of bread. Look at that. Look at that thing. Any kid watching, don't ever hold the ball like that. Tuck it point to point. But then he just really does his crazy legs Hirsch imitation and picks up some yardage.
3rd interception of the year for Merton Hanks. 1st and goal on the 8-yard line. Steve Young's pass. And that's to Jerry Rice. And right now for a report on Deion Sanders, who hasn't come out in the second half. Here's Ron Pitts. Ron?
Yeah, Dick, the word we just received from the 49er locker room is that Deion is out for the game. He has a pulled groin. We're not sure exactly when and where it happened, but he will be out. And apparently they don't need him right now because Merton Hanks coming through with a big play.
I'll take a big guess where that came from. It was either on the interception or it was the dance in the end zone. Usually with the interception you pull a hammy. Maybe with the dance you pull a groin.
Steve Wallace is also out, and Harry Boatswain starts at left tackle. 2nd down and goal. Play action pass. Caught by the tight end Brent Jones, and he's in for the touchdown.
I was wondering when Brent Jones was going to show up. And he shows up right here. And they go with the play action, get the flow completely away, and then Brent Jones will, first you just hold up the and then you just sneak out outside, and then he just runs through the tackle of Ross. Brent Jones is another guy who always has big games against the Falcons, but none as big as what Steve Young is throwing up there today. 12 for 12, 117 yards.
Great touchdown. What a perfect game, really, for Steve Young. Brent Jones with a touchdown reception, his 4th of the year, and Ryan with the extra point. So it's 35-3 now in favor of the 49ers. They're having a laugher here in Atlanta in the battle for first place in the NFC West. Back to Atlanta, the 49ers kicking off. It seems they've been doing this all day, leading 35-3. Doug Bryan and Verdane, a yard in the end zone. Looks on the Jets with only Bryan to beat, and finally pushed out of bounds.
Boy, Ironhead Hayward just flattened somebody. Just came up and just put him flat on his back.
Ed McCaffrey knocked him out of bounds. A 50-yard return by Verdane. the Falcons will have good field position, trailing by plenty, and piloting the blockbuster video blimp where you're seeing all the fine pictures of a land on a beautiful day. Terry Dillard of Lake Monroe, Florida. First and 10 at midfield, and the best starting field position for Atlanta. George looking for a receiver, and again, as Matt mentioned at halftime, story is that the secondary has done a great job, as George and June Jones confer. Turnovers today, the Falcons have turned it over 3 times, resulting in 21 49er points.
That's the biggest right there. See the points they got off it. Out of their 35 points, 21 of them comes off the turnovers. And hey, like I'll beat a dead horse. June Jones said we cannot hand this game away, and that's exactly what they've done.
Well, Deion Sanders, as we told you earlier, is out with a pulled left groin and will not come back the rest of this game. Second down, 11. Out of the shotgun for George. Oh, what a fumble! It's a fumble, and the Niners recover. Dana Stubblefield made the hit.
Brought to you in stereo right there.
Yeah.
Dana Stubblefield just powered Zandowski.
It's called surround sound.
Yeah, that's that Dolby system. Watch him come right up. He's going to come right up inside over Zandowski. And just use it quick, boom, right inside, and it comes right around. And Zandowski can't make the switch and gets his hand and knocks it out, and then Jackson recovers the fumble.
4th sack of the game by the Niners.
Yeah, see, so Dana Stubblefield, what a great athletic play, jumping over Pegram, but Bryant Young makes the play for Stubblefield because he takes the 2 blockers and doesn't allow Zandowski to get back out, and that lets Stubblefield make the play.
Second sack for Stubblefield, 4 sacks, and now the 4th turnover by Atlanta. And the pass is to John Taylor. Well, Taylor has been quiet the last few weeks, and of course it's not important now with a 35-3 lead.
Yeah, but he's been playing hurt the last couple weeks too. He's a little beat up, and John Taylor. It's a long season. That's what you have to remember. John Taylor is a player. John Taylor is as good a return guy as a punt returner when they let him do that, and then he's still a strong guy. And you get the ball in his hand, he'll make it happen.
Bobby Hebert is warming up. He engineered a victory over the Rams earlier this year. The leaguer, Jeff George.
Not Jeff George's fault. I mean, the interceptions get him, but hey, everything just kind of fell apart.
Here is Ricky Waters, and he is shy of the first down as he dives to the 34-yard line. On George there to make the play.
Ricky Waters has to get on track, too. Now, there's a couple of factors for Ricky Waters. First, his offensive line has not been the same like we mentioned at the beginning. This is the first week the offensive line has been together. And then Ricky Waters likes to run inside and bounce it outside. And until you get the people inside taking care of their job, the outside won't open up.
4 wide receivers, penalty marker down. And Ricky Waters stepping it to the 15-yard line where Scott Case is there to make the stop. So they open up the defense with the 4 wideouts, and they run Waters up the middle, but a flag back around the line of scrimmage.
I always felt like Waters was most effective when his shoulders are squared. We talked about that last week.
12 men on the field at the snap of the ball. Defense, penalty decline.
That's the second time today the Falcons have had too many men on the field.
Yeah, they tried to sneak him on or sneak him off right down here. See him right down here? I think that's big jumpy gathers. They couldn't quite get off in time. Or Mo Gardner, as it was Mo Gardner. And then they just ran the quick trap, and he just straight up the field.
13-yard pickup. They declined the penalty, of course.
I like when Ricky Waters runs inside, shoulders square. He gets in trouble sometimes when he tries to bounce it back outside. But he's very, very tough from tackle to tackle.
And he scored the first 49er touchdown today. First down on the 15 with Floyd blocking. Waters can't turn the corner, and good pursuit by Jesse Tuggle.
Now, schematically, the 49ers would like to take that play off tackle. Once you clear the tackle, then bring it upfield. One of the things that Ricky Waters has a tendency to do is to break and clear the tackle and then keep bouncing it wide. And with a team like the Atlanta Falcons who run so well, when you keep going wider, it doesn't work.
Waters today has carried 9 times for 52 yards and scored a touchdown on a reception 10 yards from Young on the first possession of the game.
They almost 6 yards to carry.
inside the 5. And another Niner first down. It'll be first and goal. Vinnie Clark that time.
And they're just doing whatever they want to do right now. The Falcons are playing on their heels, and the 49ers, they're just look at 14 out of 14 for 140, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he can do what he wants. And take a look at this picture right down there. Does that look like a lawyer? Does that look like a guy who's very, very bright? Looks like somebody hit him in the back of the head with a 2x4.
Doesn't look like a quarterback. It may look like someone else.
Not a good shot of Steve Young.
First and goal from the 1, and Floyd is going to lose some yardage.
Wow, did you see Dolman come blowing through there? Dolman, somebody got Dolman fired up. He just blew right up there. He took Jesse Sapalo, got rid of him, and then he took the running back and threw him right down. Watch Dolman come blowing off the ball. Going to come right up. Watch, take this. Get out of my way. Then he just take him and throw Floyd right to the ground. That's as good as it gets.
Dolman has been unhappy since he's been in Atlanta. Tried to make a trade for himself before the deadline. Couldn't do it, and he said, that's behind me. I'm now going to be happy I'm in Atlanta. And picked up his first sack, as a matter of fact, last week.
I said, you get a happy Dolman, you got a big-time player.
Second and goal. And Jerry Rice thought he was held. It'll go as an incompleted pass.
And again, that's the first incompletion for Steve Young, and it comes at 9:42 in the third quarter. The reason that it goes incomplete is because Dolman had great presence.
It's amazing. You look at Steve Young's numbers and what the offense has done, and that doesn't begin to talk about 4 turnovers.
Right.
And the 49ers so far have capitalized on 3 of them for touchdowns and may get another one here. Scott Case calling the signals behind. Third and goal at the 4-yard line.
You got him.
Young can't go to his first man, but he gets his next man, and that's Waters for his second touchdown catch, and a touchdown, and a flag is down as well.
A lot of time to throw that football. That right there was a case of Steve Young buying time and using his legs to find his secondary receiver.
Illegal contact, number 27 defense.
Yeah, Vinnie Clark, they caught.
Touchdown.
So the 49ers have scored again on a 4-yard TD pass.
Watch Steve Young. He won't be able to go to his first receiver. He wants to throw it to this side. Now see how he's looking. It's not there. Now watch what he does. This is called buying time. See, you got the feet. Just run outside. Then you find Ricky Waters hanging in the back of the backfield, and that means 6 more points.
Doug Bryant, after a bad snap, kicks the extra point. So the 49ers have scored 4 touchdowns off of 4 Falcon turnovers and lead it 42-3. By Budweiser, turnovers 4 for 28 points. Young nearly perfect today, and want to remind you that Deion Sanders, who got into a scuffle with Andre Rison early in the game, returned an interception, 92 yards for a touchdown, has been pulled for the rest of the ball game with a pulled groin, the left pulled groin, and it looks like Steve Young's got the rest of the day.
Yeah, you know what happened? The guy, he was 14 for 14 through that incompletion. Really a terrible job by Steve Young not to be able to go perfect today, so you yank the guy.
Well, you know what?
Start making mistakes, get rid of them right away. That's what I would do.
Eric Pegram returning from the 5-yard line for Atlanta. Nifty bit of running by Pegram.
Yeah, that's why he ran for 192 last year, for that reason.
Dana Hall on the stop. Well-deserved breather the rest of the game. And a new quarterback is Bobby Hebert when we come back.
Yeah, everybody thinks they know Troy Aikman, huh? Yeah, well, I'll tell you about Troy Aikman. He's a cool customer. I mean, I remember this one time. He was surrounded by crazed linemen. I was the ref and I was yelling at him, Troy, run, man, run! Ha, ha, ha! No! He stayed in that pocket, threw a perfect strike, and then, oh, man! Aikman took it! Like a man.
The all-new Subaru Legacy. Some say it looks best in red. Others say in green. But perhaps it's best seen in white. Subaru all-wheel drive is the ultimate safety feature. It transfers power automatically from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip. So, any sliding you do is strictly by choice. The all-weather, all-road, all-wheel drive Subaru Legacy. The beauty of all-wheel drive.
Don't miss Goodyear's Big Tire Sale and 25% savings on 4 of our most popular radials for passenger cars and light trucks. But you gotta hurry. The Big Tire Sale ends November 5th at participating Goodyear retailers.
It starts with fresh baked bread, juicy slices of mouth-watering steak, and the kicker, it's covered with A1 steak sauce, plus all the fresh fixins you like. Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. If you're not hungry yet, you better check your pulse.
Second half of our doubleheader, the Eagles in Dallas for first place in the NFC East, and Charlie Garner, who is questionable and doubtful, is going to play.
Yeah, and they were going to try to protect that rib, but I got news for you. He don't run with that rib. He runs with those legs. And because his legs are so good, that makes that offensive line that much better and makes Randall Cunningham even that much more effective.
Philadelphia, Dallas, big game later on, and some of you will see the Giants against the LA Rams. Giants coming off a Monday night loss to the Vikings. And Bobby Hebert, who engineered a victory over the Rams in Week 5, is the new quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. June Jones said he's one of the toughest players he's ever seen. So here's Hebert to lead the Falcons from their 39-yard line. And a handoff is to Pegram, who has entered the game as well in the backfield. And Eric brings it out to the 45 and a gain of 6. And a penalty marker. Jeff George's numbers, 19 of 27. 2 interceptions, 1 fumble, and couldn't find a receiver for a good part of the second quarter.
Yeah, I think you look at those numbers and you say, he's not a very good day. But on the other hand, you say, well, the 49ers secondary had an outstanding day. Especially you watch them today. They've been everywhere they've had to be.
Offside. Number 58, defense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
Kelly was offside. Andre Rison with 3 catches for 21 yards. The best part of the matchup today was the fight the two got into, and that really was a fight. They were punching each other.
And they'll be back. They'll have their opportunities to play each other again.
Ian Dion, first down and 5. Here's Pegram, and he's got the first down. Eric Pegram, who was told by June Jones that despite the fact that he lost his starting job, he's going to be used and spotted and get a chance to contribute. Picks up 13 on that play.
You see big Lincoln Kennedy now, number 66, is in the game. Number 1 pick last year. They moved him into guard. Started all of last season as a guard. Really ballooned up to about 370 pounds. They sent him to the weight loss clinic. He dropped his weight. To be honest with you, they moved him back now, and he's playing tackle, but he should lose more weight.
What about the keister on him? Got a keister.
That'll change.
First down on the 43, penalty flag. Pass caught by Mathis on the screen, and he does not get out of bounds. The clock continues to run. Game's 6. For those of us who have joined us late, 49ers winning big, but Andre Rison and Deion Sanders had a scuffle here.
And we talked about this all from the beginning. And, now watch. Deion Sanders should have been thrown out of the game for that. We're told the reason he was not thrown out is because Rison took a swing back. You know what? To me, that's baloney. Because anybody else takes a poke, he's history.
And Deion, of course, then came out on a pulled groin muscle, his left leg, after a 92-yard interception for a touchdown, and he's finished for the day. First down and 20, holding penalty against Dave Richards of the Falcons. Hebert gives to Pegram.
Boy, he's tough.
Oh, yeah, very tough.
It's Eric Pegram. I've always liked Eric Pegram. I had him last year against San Francisco. He ran for that 192. Then I've had the opportunity to watch him a few other times. You can see he's down right now because I think he took one right in the middle of that head. Eric Pegram is one tough guy.
Shaken up, and I think he has a baseball cap under his helmet.
Yeah, he does. It looks like either that or it's his do-rag.
He's a catcher. It's like he's a catcher. Shaken up now, 7-yard pickup for Eric Pegram, who is still going into this game the leading rusher for the Falcons. Well, an injury timeout. We'll be back. After the injury timeout, Mike Ken, by the way, at the dehydration and had to leave the game. And Craig Hayward is back in at running back after Pegram was injured on that previous play. It'll be second down, 13 on the Niners 46 for Bobby Hebert in relief of Jeff George. Pressure on Hebert. Incompleted pass. It was intended for Emmanuel, and it was blown dead, incomplete, covered by Tim McDonald.
And watch Bobby Hebert, a lot of experience show up when you see him in the pocket. Now that time, Ricky Jackson came off the corner and powered Big Lincoln Kennedy back into him. And all Hebert did was just use that little bit of savvy, step up in the pocket, and then back outside to buy himself some time and find Bert Emanuel. Ricky and Bobby, of course, teammates down in New Orleans along with Craig Hayward. Maybe they're going to have a little reunion back here in the backfield in this ball.
Third and 13. Hebert with time, and he completes to Emmanuel. Tell you, he is looking good, and June Jones says a couple of years from now, he's going to be one of the best in the league. A pickup of 10.
He'll say that he can be in the top 5 receivers in this game, Bert Emanuel. And he said, just a wonderful kid. He said, very, very bright. He said he's an electrical engineer. And, you know, he's not assuming. He's just going out there, does what you ask him to do. And look, he's capable of big games, 8 catches for 85 yards. Remember, early, he was the only guy moving the ball for Atlanta.
It is 4th and 3. Emanuel's had the best day of any receiver for Atlanta. 4th down and 3. And Hebert's pass is caught by Mathis, first down, and he steps out of bounds at the 22.
Let's contrast this right now and go way back to the first quarter when they had the 4th and 6. And Jeff George threw the ball way downfield. Now here's the difference. This is experience, and this is what Bobby Hebert brings. Right now, he looked across the field. He had people going downfield, but instead he finds Mathis just far enough along for the first down and hits him. So he'll take what you give him instead of trying to make a big play happen right down the field.
And at the time, it was only 14-0 and could have brought the Falcons back quicker. 1st and 10 on the 22 out of the shotgun.
Audible right now.
Hebert fires it out to Emmanuel for a short gain, and he's tackled by Eric Davis.
Well, Eric Davis is really playing. He's up a pretty good football game today.
Whole secondary is including Troy Cook, their nickelback.
Yeah, everybody, you're right, but Eric Davis is a player that he can make big plays. He really closes well on the ball. And then you see, he's learned to do this, and he learned that from Ronnie Lott. So he'll come up, and he'll strip the ball. His hand will always be on the ball. And his contention was that he wasn't a catch, that he dropped the ball. But Eric Davis, if you watch him, always has the presence to slap the ball.
2nd and 4. 5:22 remaining in the third quarter. The pass is intended and intercepted. Intended for Mathis and picked off for another turnover. And that was Dana Hall with the interception.
Yeah, but Toy Cook made the play. Toy Cook got his hand in that, popped it up. Mathis went for the high catch. He did everything right. You catch the ball at its highest point. Cook knocked it out. And then Dana Hall makes the pick. So he worked everything down. Now he's going to try to hit it back in behind McDonald. Watch, the ball goes up. Now watch the hand. Boom. See, he hits it, and then Hall's on the other side.
Like we said, Cook and all of the secondary playing a big game, and Hall with his first interception of the year.
Watch him go down. Now, Tim McDonald knows. So he knows right away where it's going. So he takes away that whole inside by body position. So McDonald, if you're going to make that throw, it's going to have to come high. So by position, McDonald made him throw it high.
Elvis Gerback is the new quarterback for the 49ers, and his first pass is thrown behind Nate Singleton. Incomplete. So the 5th turnover of the game by the Atlanta Falcons. There have been 3 interceptions by the Niners and 2 turnovers. They have capitalized on the 4 previous mistakes. And Young, who had a sensational game today, missed only 1 pass, threw 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions. And tell you what, you're going to see that quarterback rating rise maybe to the top going into next week.
And you see that second 3 games, it was tougher because his offensive line, that's when it really took the hit. And now he's getting used to what's out there right now on the like to run the ball or you like to block? He said, not even close. I like to hit somebody. I want to block. I love that part. I said, what do you have to get better at? He said, well, to be honest with you, I want to start mixing things up a little bit.
Coming up next, the Eagles and the Cowboys for first place in the NFC East. Giants and the Rams in the other late game on Fox NFL Sunday. Third down and 9. They're back with a screen pass and a penalty flag now.
Remember last week against Detroit, the 49ers came out and started throwing a lot of screens. Now they got a hold right now on the 49ers.
Frank Pollock, maybe.
When I asked him, was that part of your game plan, all the screens? He said, no, we kind of just fell into it. It looked like that was the thing to do, so.
65 offense, penalty decline, fourth down.
Both swing and then apply the penalty. Yep.
And so I asked him if it was part of it. He said, no, we just kind of fell into it because one of the signs of a good coordinator, offensive coordinator, is to adjust on the fly. And it's a good sign by Mike Shanahan that it's not in your game plan, yet it still becomes your bread and butter as the game goes on.
Wilmsmeyer is punting for only the second time today. Lance Verdan is back deep. Verdan. Fumble. Loose ball. And again, tempers flare. It's a long afternoon for the Falcons as the Niners have dominated. Another hit.
You see what William Floyd came around and took his punch and then got out of there quick.
Peterson recovered it after Dodge had forced the fumble. Atlanta ball. Out on the field, he's pulled the left groin out of the game the rest of the way, but a return of an interception for 92 yards. So in 4 games that he's played for the 49ers, he has returned 2 passes for scores, 74 yards and 92 yards. Paying dividends is an understatement. First and 10 at the 43 for the Falcons with 4:13 to go in the third quarter. Hayward in the game, and he's going to be thrown for a loss. Dennis
Brown is a completely different Dennis Brown this year. You know, he'd like to say it's a new and improved Dennis Brown, but to be honest, he's a little disappointed with that. You know, he went to the weight loss clinic, he lost a bunch of weight. He lost 65 pounds. He's now down about 275, and he said, I have to reteach myself how to play right now. He said, I lost so much weight that I can't do the things that I've been accustomed to do. He said, I've been a big guy my whole life, and now I'm an average guy.
He's lifting weights though, right?
Yeah, he's working on his strength. But you know what he always had was great movement.
Second and 14, pass incomplete. They were going for Ricky Sanders. Well, before he was the specialist, Sylvester Stallone starred in the mother of all comedies. Estelle Getty co-stars in Stop or My Mom Will Shoot on the Fox Tuesday night movie beginning at 8/7 Central. Atlanta Falcons came into this game and a holding penalty called against Sandowski, hoping to make a statement of sorts to show that they belong and perhaps the best challengers of the 49ers. But that has been dissipated dramatically as the 49ers have come in and stolen the game away. They took the crowd out on the first possession and went from there, capitalizing on 4 or 5 turnovers for a touchdown. And a big lead here. Third down and 14. Shuffle pass to Craig Hayward. And he'll have a first down barely. Lee Woodall finally takes him down.
You see, Merton Hanks at the end of that, he saw Big Ironhead Hayward coming. He just started to back to buy himself time. Backed up, and when the play was finally made, he was about 10 yards downfield away. You notice he has that thing on his nose right here. It's a big. He's got himself a Band-Aid on the top of his nose. And really, that's because there's a divot of skin ripped out. Last week, he broke his nose against Detroit. And I asked him how that was, and he said, you know, I have a bunch of surgical gauze still stuffed up inside my nose to support that bone, and I really don't want to be hitting anybody.
He had to reset the other day, and that had to hurt. First down and 10. Hebert going up top. And it's going to be another interception. This time it's Eric Davis. Open field for Davis. And out of bounds. Eric Davis. And that is the 4th interception of the game by the 49ers. And Davis returns it 35 yards.
Well, there was miscommunication as well as a flag down on the field. And Bert Emanuel ran it out. He ran to the corner, rather, and Bobby Hebert threw the post.
Penalties against the Niners. And that's going to nullify that interception.
Illegal use of hands. Number 96, defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And Dennis Brown. So the Niners nearly had it in turnover number 6 on the day.
Yeah, watch, not Dennis Brown. Number 96 is in the middle of your screen. He's going to come up inside. He can throw that hand. Oh, he had Richard by the face mask. That's what they're going to call. Pretty anemic call, considering all the calls that were made today. Dennis Brown has great movement. He came in, he was about 320, 330 pounds, and you marveled at, for a big man, how well he moved and how well he could run. Now he dropped the weight. Like I said, he has to readjust to this weight to learn how to play again.
First and 10 on the 41 on the draw play. Hayward for a couple up the middle.
And Dennis Brown right there. See that? And that's what you can't teach. They'll start upfield, readjust, come back in, change of direction, make the tackle.
What about this NFC West race, which is a lot closer than people thought it would be? New Orleans used to be the top contender. Atlanta came in tied. Looks like the 49ers, and they're going to get their offensive line back eventually.
Yeah, they will. And I don't think that's going to surprise anybody. I think everybody picked the 49ers to win that West and be one of the really top 2 teams in the league. I think they're going to get better as the year gets on. Probably when they look back on this season, they'll say that getting those people hurt early was the best thing that happened to us because it forced us to have depth on the offensive line.
Hayward gets 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and short. So coming in, the standings with the Falcons and the 49ers tied 4-2 on the year. And, of course, the best start for Atlanta since 1986.
This will go to 5, and this will go to 3.
Now, don't be premature.
Oh, yeah, that's just a wild guess I'll take right there.
Rams, of course, play the Giants coming up next. Some of you will see that game on Fox NFL Sunday. 3rd down and 3, and the Saints are going against the Chargers. Protection for Hebert, and Andre Rison makes the reception for the first down. Drakeford covering him on the play.
So there you go. See that at the end? A little pat in the rear end for Drakeford. So you went from taking a poke at the first guy to getting a hand up to the second guy.
Rison and Sanders, and they actually did clash. You talk about the matchup one-on-one as a boxing match, and we actually did have a boxing match today between those two.
For the Atlanta Falcons, the thing to remember is a long season. So they're 4-3, and they get thrashed here. It's 42-3, but they can come back. It's a long year, and they'll get their shot at this team again. And anything can happen.
Rison makes the Cats pushed out of bounds. But Matt, this was the first team that they played that was really a top-level club. Detroit has fallen on hard times, and Atlanta lost to them in overtime in the opening game. But their wins, 2 against the Rams, 1 against Washington, and 1 against Tampa Bay. Their other top-level, top-shelf team was Kansas City, and they disappointed there.
Well, I think today, though, the whole thing has been turnovers. They can't afford turnovers. They proved that they can move the football, and they proved that when given a shot, they can run the ball effectively. So they're going to have to regroup. And again, it's a long year.
Well, that snap bounced off of Bobby Hebert, and that's going to end the quarter.
No play. Time for the 3rd quarter.
And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, the 49ers 42 and the Falcons 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local station. Scored 2 touchdowns in each of the first 3 quarters of the game. And, of course, 5 turnovers and 28 points on 4 turnovers for the 49ers today.
And as a player on that upside, when you're on the sideline, there's nothing better than games like this. You stand there, you can mess around, you can talk about the game while the game is going on, and everything's taken care of before you ever get to the plane.
Collision just discussed it as you see him walk away from the pile. Looks like the Niners not satisfied with a 42-3 lead. They want to get their hands on the ball again.
That's a stat deal right there. They want a stat. One of those guys wants that fumble recovery.
Won't be Jackson, though, huh? I don't think. Or Tim McDonald.
Or Drakeford. Yeah, they're just hanging.
Unless their arms are like 6 feet long. Oh, rough. What a day for June Jones having to suffer through this nightmare. For the sellout crowd, they expected so much. Big game for the Falcons, as we said, bigger for Atlanta than for San Francisco, because you know the Niners are going to be there at the end of the year, one way or another. But this is a blow to the Falcons.
Third down.
So Falcons retain the ball. Well, coming up next, the second half of our Fox NFL Sunday, Eagles and Cowboys. Some of you will see the Giants and the LA Rams. And a battle for first place, Dallas and Philadelphia tied at 4-1.
I think the biggest difference with Philadelphia, Bud Carson with his defense is playing well, and then Randall Cunningham is back. Randall Cunningham, we've talked about this before, he's as good as there is, and he's as bad as there is, sometimes in the same series.
Right. And keep in mind, if you're impressed with what the Niners are doing, that Randall Cunningham blistered the Niners 40-8 out at Candlestick Park a couple of weeks ago. Third down and 10 from the 29. Hebert is going deep for Andre Rison, double covered. Interception by Dana Hall, his second of the game. And turnover number 6.
That time the ball just hung up there, and Hall was playing safety just hanging along that half and just ran the ball down.
6 turnovers by the Atlanta Falcons, and the Niners are having a defensive walkthrough today. And early here in this fourth quarter, less than a minute gone by, the Niners get it back. Through from a Falcon helmet. And the first play, William Floyd running for a couple of yards. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League is prohibited. Turnover story. 4 wins. Yep.
Self-explanatory. Yeah, they gave it away when they lost it. They get it when they win it. Today, the Falcons said they couldn't give it away, and they did. You see the result.
Derek LaVille joins William Floyd in the backfield. LaVille goes in motion. And Gerback's pass is incomplete and a penalty marker down. It was intended for Nate Singleton.
They're going to call that on Vinnie Clark over the top. Clark had his right hand on the top of Singleton and worked his inside left hand to knock the ball down. Actually, that's the way it's taught.
Pass interference, number 27 defense, automatic first down.
Watch his top shoulder up top. See? Now get the jam. Now keep your top shoulder. See that? You keep your right hand on the top and you work with your left hand. Because if you miss the ball with your left, you can always make the tackle with your right.
Singleton caught a touchdown pass against the Lions last week, and he was doubtful or questionable with a hamstring pull, but he's in there now. And the give us to Floyd finds a hole. Good power by Floyd, and Ron George is there. Interesting, Matt, that coming into the game, the Falcons led the NFL in takeaways with a plus 19, but today it is a plus 6 for the 49ers.
You know, the Atlanta Falcons defensively had been giving up some yards. And that was a concern coming in. And they play a scheme that they try to give their secondary a chance to make the interception, make the big play, but it also opens a lot of things up underneath, and that's what the 49ers took advantage of early.
2nd and 5, Floyd again, knocked back. It'll be 3rd and short. Chris Dolman making the play. Atlanta's last 6 possessions have resulted in 4 interceptions, a fumble, and a missed field goal.
William Floyd, the first 2 weeks he didn't play. They had him on the bench. And he said, you know, they told me I have to become a student of the game. Heck, I didn't even know what it was, he said. I know what a student of the game is. Then he said he sat on the sideline and he watched and he realized that he had to start to learn what teams were trying to do, what they were trying to do, and what his role was in the scheme, and he thinks that he has become a student and he's learning more.
They're back on 3rd and 3, going up top, and wide open is Nate Singleton, and he's still on his feet. And it takes D.J. Johnson. Boy, there's a guy whose name we haven't mentioned today, coming in tied for the NFL lead with 5 interceptions. That was a 43-yard game.
Watch Vinnie Clark, 27. He goes right there. See, he just bit completely with that little pump move from Gerbach. And then Gerbach lofts it up, and Singleton, if Singleton doesn't trip, that's 6 points. Vinnie Clark took the bite, trying to make him. That's what happens in a game like this. You try to make a play. You know you're getting beat, so you take a chance. There you take a chance, and it results in another big play for the offense.
First down on the 21 of the Falcons. And this time, Derek LaVille with his first carry of the ball game. LaVille's 5th of the season and a gain of 1 with Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews in his 17th year. In a blowout game, he'll still come hard. It's interesting. Talking to Big Dave Richards, the offensive guard, before the game, he says, when I get as old as dirt, I hope I can still be young as clay. That's pretty good. I thought that, especially for a lineman.
It's a poet.
That's good for linemen.
Got some writing skills there that we don't know about. 2nd and 9, Floyd. Nothing. Well, we've had some good pictures. Of course, we were right at ringside for the Deion Sanders-Andre Rison battle. And we want to thank our production crew and a technical crew. Of course, Richie Zients, our producer, our director, Artie Kempner. And we also want to thank our studio, which was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill and Pete Macheska, our associate producer as well. 3rd down and 7 on the 18-yard line. Eric Shanks and Jimmy Bruska working in the graphics department. 49ers are going to call a timeout, and Elvis Gerbach will go to the sidelines with exactly 10 minutes remaining in the game. I'd like to thank the Blockbuster Video Blimp for providing Fox with these beautiful aerial views for today's game. Beautiful day in Atlanta for that blimp to be up in the sky. 3rd down and 7. Deion and Jerry. Jerry caught a touchdown pass today. 3rd and 7, and William Floyd powers his way shy of the first down. Kevin Ross came up.
How's that for irony? The picture you just saw with Deion and Jerry on the sideline down there. Last year, everybody was making a big deal about Deion versus Jerry Rice. Right. In that game, Jerry Rice had 105 yards and a bunch of catches, and then Deion Sanders had 2 interceptions. And now today he goes against Andre Rison. Of course, he has the interception for a touchdown, and I think any time you get a receiver like Rice or Rison versus a guy like Deion Sanders, you got to be excited about it because big things happen.
4th down and 4. Derek LaVille. And gets to the 2-yard line. It'll be a first down. Vinnie Clark with the contact, and you could hear it all the way up here.
Some people in the 49ers feel like Derek LaVille might be their most explosive running back. Really, I mean, they think that this guy can do all kinds of things. He's got great speed. He's got all that movement inside. He'll turn his shoulders and hit it going square. He'll do it all.
It'll be 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Niners trying to score again. Tripped up this time is William Floyd. Under 9 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. By the Falcons today, and that matches the number they had in week 3 when they lost to the Chiefs. They had 6 turnovers in that game. 4 interceptions by the 49ers.
been embarrassed today. And 42 points, 21 of them, 28 of them turnovers. And they have had the ball moved against them all day long, and now it comes down here. And it never changes. Attitude and all that. That stuff never changes. Because they're going to go back and they're going to watch these tapes, and the coaches are going to see who quits and who doesn't. That's why stuff like this is important for a defender.
Can't run away from the tape. LaVille, and I'll tell you, the defensive line knows they're going to be looking.
And did you see who showed up right away? You see who played with Clay Matthews? 17 years. He wasn't about to quit. He just jumped that line of scrimmage, burst through the hole, hit the blocker, and forced it back outside. Another guy is Jesse Tuggle. Here's no quitting him, too. He knows where the ball's going to be. So just get there and show up with a bad attitude. When LaVille comes, Jesse Tuggle, he'll hit you. He runs well. He runs very well. And when he shows up, he usually has some good force behind him.
Well, what you say is true, and you've been there. 4th and goal ought to be something here at the 2-yard line. There is LaVille and the Falcon defense.
And there you see that Matthews. Take Matthews off the back of his jersey and put pride on it. That's what it's all about right there. 17 years. The guy knows the play has to be made. He's not going to be embarrassed. Just reads everything, comes up and makes the play.
So the Falcons will have something to carry from this game, and it might have been that last sequence. The 49ers getting a chance to use their bench. Few starters in there, but mostly it's the bench. Same for the Falcons. In fact, they're going with their emergency quarterback, Perry Klein, in there now. They'll start from the 7-yard line. First down with 7:11 remaining. 42-3 in favor of the 49ers. Winning big on the road for the second straight week. Hayward. And Charles Mann is there to make the tackle. Right now, let's go to James Brown in our Hollywood studio. JB?
All right, Dick. Arizona is riding the legs of Ron Moore to its first touchdown of the afternoon. Here, a 10-yard run by Moore. He's got 108 on the afternoon. Arizona trailing by just 5 right now, 14-9. Back to Atlanta. Dick and Matt.
All right, JB, that one's going down to the wire at RFK.
Yeah, but I think the Redskins have something to be excited about. Heath Schuler's going to be a pretty good football player. He's going to take some time, but he's going to get there.
Second down and 6. Klein going in the air, loses the ball. Fumble, and it's still Falcons' ball. Klein transferred from the University of California to C.W. Post College in New York, making his NFL debut. He played in all 5 preseason games, a 4th-round draft choice. Like he was the 3rd quarterback taken after Heath Schuler and Trent Dilfer.
Dana Stubblefield and Dwayne Board, defensive line coach right there.
Stubblefield with 2 of the 5 sacks today by the 49ers. 3rd down and 12. Klein loses the ball and gets out of the end zone, avoiding a safety.
Well, it's Troy Wilson for the 2nd time in a row came around that corner and used his speed to beat Lincoln Kennedy. And all he does is just go with the speed rush right to the top. Watch him coming right around the corner. Lincoln Kennedy can't get his hands on him. Boom, tries to, just dips right underneath. And then look, this won't happen again ever. See, Perry Klein will never have that happen again. That ball never bounces the same twice.
Roy Wilson may have been shaken up.
Over the last few years, a lot of people have seen their investments drop in value.
Picked up 2 sacks in this last series, leaving the field in his own power. And coming in to punt will be Harold Alexander. This is going to be the first punt of the game by the Falcons. Hard to believe. Normally, the team is doing so well offensively, they don't kick the ball away, but it's the other way around. Carter back deep. Kicking from the back of the end zone. Good kick. Sends Carter back to his 42. Dexter Carter gets into Falcon territory and is out of bounds at the 32-yard line. And that's where the Niners will take over. 49 49ers having a breeze of a game, 6 sacks and 6 turnovers en route to a huge win over Atlanta. Well, tonight, Fox explores the mysteries of space. First, a team of UFO experts experience a close encounter. Then, when Homer joins the space program, it's one giant step backwards for mankind. Watch a brand new Encounters followed by The Simpsons tonight on Fox. Logan and LaVille are the running backs. Elvis Gerback, the quarterback, and a first down on the Falcon 32. There's Logan. Former starter fumbles the ball out of bounds. It's still Niner ball.
You know, he's played himself a pretty good football game. Really, the last 2 weeks has been Frank Pollock starting at that right tackle, big number 75. You know, what he brought to the 49ers to that right side really was a little bit of stability. You know, Pollock's in there for Harris Barton, the All-Pro, and who'll be back in a few weeks. He tore his tricep. You can see he has that thing right there on that arm. That thing will come off, and then Harris will start to play again. But Pollock's done a very good job of maintaining, and you know what he just doesn't get beat. You know, he doesn't overpower anybody, but he just stays on the guy, and he gives the running back or Steve Young the opportunity to do well.
LaVille on the carry, and you're right, and that's why this game wasn't as critical for the 49ers as it was for the Falcons. Because even had San Francisco lost this game, they're hanging up there with the leaders, and they know they're going to get that line back for the second half of the year and some of the important games coming up, such as the Cowboys game.
But you know, like I said earlier, they're going to look back on their season, and they're going to say, getting those guys hurt early in the season really was a blessing in disguise, because now we have some experience depth. And in this league with free agency, there's no depth anywhere.
On 3rd and 3, Agee traps Logan for a loss of 1, bringing up 4th down with 4:18 to go. The other member of the offensive line who has been injured with an injured arch is Ralph Tam, and they expect both Tam and Barton to come back early November.
Yeah, but Big Ralph, you know, he's out of that cast now. That cast isn't on. He's walking around in sneakers, and that's a good sign. He told me he doesn't have much pain. It hurts him still a little bit to push off, but he's getting closer and closer. And when those guys are back, and like we said, you know, that's going to make a huge difference with his offense.
And the Niners will call a timeout, and now they're working on the thumb of Merton Hanks, who's had the broken nose to contend with. And a timeout with 3:50 remaining. Well, the NFC Central's had a bye this week. They'll get back next week with the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings tied for first place. Bears will face the Lions at Pontiac, and the Vikings go against the Packers at home this Thursday. And Tampa Bay tied with Detroit at 2-4. What impresses you or doesn't impress you about the Central?
Well, I think the biggest thing here, I think Minnesota started out slow, and I think they're getting better. I think Warren Moon now is comfortable, and I think they're a team that's getting better. I think Chicago is kind of surprising themselves. Defensively, they had to really get their defense back because they hurt, and mostly because of this guy right here, Richard Dent, who was a pass rusher, really had a big year last year in Chicago. He came to San Francisco. They gave San Francisco what they hadn't had since Haley left, and now he gets hurt. And we said it last week, we'll say it again. Richard Dent hurts 2 teams with 1 injury.
Another former Bear is Craig Hayward. But I'll tell you what, Dave Wanstead's got that team playing well. They've won some tough games. LaVille turning the corner. See a little bit of what you're talking about with the 49ers. I think he's got great speed. LaVille with good speed around him picks up 12 yards before Scott Case makes the stop.
You know, he's also decisive. You know, once he gets the corner, he just squares up and boom, straight up field. Got a little bit of magic in those feet. You know, you get him out in the open field, he'll make you miss. An exciting runner.
Second half of our doubleheader, and the Eagles and the Cowboys in the big collision at Texas Stadium. Randall Cunningham will have Barnett. Garner is going to play, protecting his ribs. And that team is a hot team in the NFC. First down on the 14, Logan for a couple. And while we have a moment to thank a few people, I want to thank those who have helped us as they do every game up here in the booth. Chris Visser, our spotter, and our statistician, Dave Porras. Under 3 minutes remaining in what was billed as a big showdown turned out to be anything but. 6 turnovers, 6 sacks. The 49ers win going away. Second down and 8. Lester Archambault stormed in quickly and a loss of 6 yards. Well, June Jones, Matt, tell us that we don't have a home field advantage, and that's what was important about this game. He said we win Sunday. Now all of a sudden we get a groundswell of support. People will come out for the other games we have and establish something at home. Well, what happened was that they got blown out at home.
Now, another thing that happened was we got the 2-minute warning. There's 2 minutes left to go.
That's right. Empty Georgia Dome. 2-minute warning. We'll be back. Game here at the Georgia Dome. The 49ers with 2 touchdowns in each of the first 3 quarters. Win 42-3, heading for the win, we should say. Still 2 minutes remaining, and 49ers will come back home at Candlestick Park next week to entertain the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And there's 2 reasons why they're doing pretty well. That Deion Sanders and Dana Stubblefield. I think Dana Stubblefield, that's a guy who's really, really the mainstay of that front of the San Francisco 49ers. He's just getting better.
3rd down and 14. LaVille.
Look at the speed. And he just outruns people. You see at the end, right when he knew he was going down, he just dipped a little bit and got upfield. Picked up another 1.5 yards.
Charles Washington on the tackle. Falcons are going to go out west to face the Raiders at the Coliseum next Sunday. That's their next game. Falcons will drop to 4-3 on the year, and the 49ers 5-2 will take over undisputed possession of first place in the NFC West, a spot they've been accustomed to in the last decade or so. 4th down and 11. They run it to Logan, and the Falcons will take over on downs with 1:10 on the clock.
1:10?
1:10.
That's like 1:10 and a half.
Let's take a longer look at the Falcons' upcoming schedule. Mention the Raiders next week and then a bye week, and then the San Diego Chargers, who currently are undefeated, and then road games at New Orleans, at Denver. Those are tough games coming up for the Falcons.
I don't think there's any question. I think they're going to have to get error-free football to win. I mean, this game proved, this game early proved that you can't turn the ball over and expect to be in the middle of the game.
49ers scored on their first possession. Then the fumble returned for a score by Tim McDonald. They failed on 4th down, and then it came up from there as we take a look at the scores of games underway.
17-17. Big game in Miami.
First down, Falcons on the 12-yard line. Terry Klein is the quarterback. Craig Hayward. And we're winding down to a minute remaining. The 49ers, Tampa Bay at Candlestick next Sunday. Then their bye week, and then Washington on the road in Dallas and the LA Rams. So in the next 4 games they play, the Niners are home for 3 of them.
Yeah, and they should get healthy. And that Dallas game, that's what everybody points to. Yeah, that November 13th.
And you'll see it on Fox. We're glad to have that Dallas-San Francisco collision. Everyone has been saying those are the 2 best teams in the NFC. We'll find out who may be the best in the conference in that day. 2nd down and 8. In the backfield by Anthony Peterson.
And that should do it.
49ers will snap the Falcons' 3-game winning streak. They have beaten Atlanta 15 of the last 17. And a triumphant return for Deion Sanders, who returned an interception 92 yards for a score today. Deion still close to many, and there is Andre Rison and Deion Sanders embracing at midfield, 2 sterling competitors. So for Matt Millen and Ron Pitts, I'm Dick Stockton saying so long from the Georgia Dome with the final score today, the 49ers 42 and the Falcons 3. Coming up next, most of you will see the second half of Fox's doubleheader when Randall Cunningham and the Philadelphia Eagles travel to Dallas to take on Emmitt Smith and the Dallas Cowboys. Check your local listings for the game in your area. You are watching Fox Sports coverage of the National Football League.